giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Yeah. Good morning, good people. Welcome back to A to Z Sports Live in the morning. We stream live on YouTube, and of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! Feels good to be back, ladies and gentlemen. Feels good. And, well. Yesterday was interesting. We'll talk about it a little bit in the roundup. But this Sunday becomes a lot more important. I promise y'all, I know y'all want to talk about it, so we'll talk about it with you guys. But I wasn't here Friday, so I get a chance to bask in that victory on Thursday. The Cowboys squeaked out a victory against the Seattle Seahawks, and I think I'm going to tell you why they needed that. That was a tight win, and I believe it was the right win. Coach McCarthy talked about it. We're going to talk about it. And don't get it twisted. Just because the game was Thursday and today's Monday, that doesn't mean we're not going to do the cookout. No. We still are going to celebrate said victory because we got all week to prepare for the next game, and we know what that one is. We know what that one is, ladies and gentlemen. So stick around for the cookout. We also got the walk, of course. This one was a bit trickier than it was a few weeks ago. Nonetheless, we're going to have fun with it. You can call into the show. 351-999-3787 is the call-in line. And let me say this. That victory, and McCarthy talked about it, I personally think that was one of the victories where 87, 88, those guys particular said NFL.
Acknowledge me.
Acknowledge me. Y'all been asking, well, a certain show, and I don't even want to, but let's just be honest. It wasn't just that show. There's been people, there's been fans, there's been rival fans have been asking for a certain thing for the Cowboys to do, and that was A, beat a winning team. They came in 6-5. B, can you close it out when you need to? Can you come back when you need to? Can you make the big plays when you need to? Dallas did that, right? Are you clutch? Can you be clutch? Dallas did that. Can you keep pace in the NFC East? Dallas did that. So the Cowboys, 9-3, not that far off from the top seed in the NFC. However, it's going to take some help. Dallas needs some help, but they can only take care of what's in front of them. We've been saying that for weeks, right? For months, really, when people were complaining about the schedule. The Cowboys can only deal with what's in front of them, and the next week that's in front of them is the Philadelphia Eagles. And we'll talk. Matter of fact, let's go ahead, get into the roundup, because there is an update on a particular player who's deciding on which way to go in Shaq Leonard. And then we'll talk about the state of the NFC. But before that, what's up, Bomb Squad?
Bomb Squad!
I hope y'all had a good weekend. I know I see in here some FSU fans. I mean, what do you want them to do? You ain't got a quarterback, but I'm not getting into the whole college football playoff thing. Look, I feel bad for y'all. Shouts out to my guy Tuck, biggest FSU fan I know. I feel bad for y'all right now, man. Undefeated and can't get into the big dance. But it was a good weekend of sports, including college football. So let's go ahead and get into this roundup. Shouts out to Texas, right? They got in. Shouts out to Texas. I am down here, so I kind of quasi root for all these Texas teams, except the Texans. But I do like what's going on over there with the quarterback. Anyway, let's do this thing, y'all.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Let me talk to you.
Oh, yeah, let me talk to you. I still want to start off with the other thing. But we got some house cleaning to talk about here, or to deal with here. Shaq Leonard, who visited with the 9-3 fresh off of the victory Dallas Cowboys and the 10-2 fresh off of a ass whooping Philadelphia Eagles, is supposedly deciding on which two teams possibly today. This was an update from David Moore. Free agent Shaq Leonard is expected to take the rest of the evening to decide between the Cowboys and Eagles and inform the teams tomorrow of his decision, a person with knowledge of the situation said. Again, per David Moore of, I believe, Dallas Morning News. All right, bro. I mean, I don't think it'll take that long. So I'm hoping we hear something today. And really, look, if they, again, I said this before, if they don't do it, I don't think you lose much. But if they do it, then we'll see what happens from there. See if he comes in, he's healthy and good to go. But I don't, if this lingers past today, I think Dallas just needs to say, look, man, I need an answer today. I got to prepare for a game. It's Monday. Dallas plays the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday. I'd imagine if he got in here tomorrow, I still don't know if he'd be ready for Sunday. We'll see. That'd be interesting. But if he had gotten here over the weekend, would have been a different story. So you could potentially be adding this player and not even have him for one of the big, if not the biggest game to date for the Cowboys. Because Lou, Day Rocks. No, because the Eagles got their ass whooped yesterday. Oh, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. And see, this is why I don't tweet during the games, because I was just watching people just go through hell. The Niners are about to get whooped. They can't do this. They can't do that. And then next thing you know, 1 quarter later, the Niners can't be stopped. Can't be stopped. And I just got this evil grin on my face, because I was talking to Jesse last week. You know, in preparation for the Seahawks, you were watching the Niners play, right? And I just sitting there watching like, man, they're going to whoop the out of the Eagles, man. I text Jesse. I said, bro, I think they're going to run it up on Philly, man. I think this team is better than Philly since last year, the NFC Championship game. I think Philly has regressed to the mean. Are they a good team? Are they legit? Sure, right? I'm not saying this is a bad team, but I don't think they improved. I think the 49ers did. And I don't care if they were playing at home. The only thing that bothered me about playing at home was the referees. And I know people will get on the referees. But from just talent to talent and the way these two teams were playing, it just felt like the Niners were going to run it up on them. Because the Eagles just can't pull away from anybody. And if you're a good team, and if we're keeping it a bean, I don't care how much of a homer you want to be about the Cowboys, if we're keeping it 100, the San Francisco 49ers are probably the best team in the NFC, if not the best team in the league at this moment, and that's fine. You want to go out there and beat the best. I just didn't think they were going to be able to do the whole we're down 10 and come back against the Niners. Or we're going to squeak out a close victory against the Niners. San Fran went in there and was bullied them. And now they know how it feels to get bullied by San Fran, because the Cowboys got bullied earlier in the season. However, I think this Dallas team is different and better than what this Philly team or whatever you want to call them at this particular time. In week 5, Dallas, the way they played, the way they were doing things offensively, completely different than what this team is now. And because of that ass whooping, the Cowboys are now in place to play for first place next week. Now, I didn't realize this until all the tweets were coming out on yesterday, that if Dallas were to win Sunday, they would technically be in first place in the NFC East. And the reason why it never clicked, because we were looking at the totality of the schedule. So if for whatever reason Philly loses next week and then wins out the rest of the way, and Dallas also wins out the rest of the way, Philly will get the tiebreaker. But one game at a time. One game at a time. I keep telling y'all, stay focused on what's in front of you and let everything else handle itself. And that's what happened on Sunday. Dallas won Thursday. San Francisco took care of business. The Cowboys are in position to be in first place next week. if we're looking at 1 seeds, it's going to take a whole lot of help because now you need Philly to lose a bunch of games. You need San Fran to lose a bunch of games because they hold the tie. Well, yeah, they hold the tiebreaker over you. Nonetheless, because of that loss, Cowboys are in position. So it's really weird, but honestly, I don't care. Get the dub next week. You are in first place, and you keep the pressure on Philly because I don't think this team is better than they were last year. And I do think if the Cowboys and the Niners play against them and the Zebras are not involved, I think the Cowboys and the Niners can beat the team. I do. I just do. I don't. I don't care about MVP odds. You know how I feel about the whole MVP thing. However, I just find this crazy. Jalen Hurts, I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. He's a good quarterback. Whatever. Can somebody explain to me, though, how he, let's keep it a bean, and Patrick Mahomes are considered MVP favorites? And this isn't even about, I want to give it to Dak. Because, look, if you go look over there in Miami, Tyreek Hill is about to put up 2K. It's never been done before. You know? This just doesn't make sense to me to give it to a guy. Because I thought personally, the award, and this is why I never really got all the way into it, because I never thought the Cowboys would have a person that would be able to put up the statistics to do it. But I thought the award went to somebody that had crazy numbers on a quality team. What's crazy about what Jalen's doing? In fact, the pace that he's on looks about average to me. You know, I'm not saying he's an average quarterback, although if you want to say that, I will sit back and let you talk. What I'm saying, though, is from a statistical standpoint, that doesn't look MVP numbers to me. And he's favored. I don't know how the hell Pat's favored. And I love Pat. I don't know how the hell Pat's second in this whole thing. So unless they change the criteria of what the best player in the league for that particular season is, then I'm confused. Somebody got to explain to me, man. Explain to me how Jalen Hurts is considered the best player in the league this year. Please explain it to me. Toxic said it's pure BS now. Ask Jokic about MVPs are decided. And, you know, I never looked at it, the MVP like that, Toxic. Like, I didn't look at it the way I would look at the Pro Bowl. You know what I mean? I thought, especially when you go look at the history, okay, that makes sense. Pat Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, like these guys were putting up stupid numbers. Their teams are really good. And I was just like, okay, that makes sense. Nothing about this year makes sense for the MVP. Nothing. The refs can vote for MVP. I wish I could ask these people that are in control of this. But again, this also could be money driven, right? I personally don't do the betting. And I know that sometimes Cowboys, what do you guys call it? The Cowboys tax, something like that. That can happen in betting lines. And I wonder if they're saying, well, if we put Dak here, if we put Mahomes and Jalen Hurts here, we can win more money off of them betting on Jalen Hurts or Pat Mahomes, and none of them will win it. And there's 5 games left. I feel like the quarterback in Philly is who he is. Pat Mahomes, he is who, unless he goes on a stupid tear, they are who they are. The pace that they're on is not that great to me. If it was up to me, it's Dak and Tyreek. Again, I don't care if he wins it, but Dak and Tyreek, to me, are the best 2 players in the league this year when it comes to MVP. And if Tyreek gets 2K, let's go ahead and give him the award, man. Let's go ahead and give it to him. All right, let me take a quick little break, get on the phones, and we're going to hit the cookout after that. Let's wrap to my guy, Marcus. What's good, Marcus?
Hey, what's going on, Sky? How you doing, man?
Hey, fantastic weekend. Got a chance to travel a little bit. Got a chance to watch Philly get that ass whooped. It was a great weekend, man. How you feeling?
I'm with you, man. Hey, that was nice to watch, but yeah, we need to stay in our lanes. Then it was gonna, they was gonna run out of that sooner or later. My thing, man, I like what you said earlier, man, about certain things, kind of washing themselves out. I just want to say, look, I know just from watching the the San Francisco game, we can all agree that San Francisco is very well coached. That team over there is extremely talented. Yeah, that's an extremely talented team, and they have been for the last 3 or 4 years. And if anybody is still running around here thinking that Brock Purdy can't play or that it's the system, I know they struggled. San Francisco did. They struggled when they lost some guys and whatever. But that happens to every team.
Hey,
if
Marcus,
you think Brock Purdy cannot,
there you go.
If you think,
go ahead.
Yeah. But if you think Brock Purdy cannot play, there's something wrong with you. It's too many people that think it's about how far you can throw the football or how fast you can run or how high you can jump. No, man. If you can play, you can play.
Here's the thing.
And everybody needs help. Yeah, everybody needs help. So
right.
you don't mollywop people the way Brock Purdy has done, and you can't play, system or not.
That's what I'm saying.
He jumped right in and took that over. Yeah, I just want to put that in perspective. Go ahead.
Bottom line, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter about the system because you have to play it. Like if you're looking, if you're trying to do who's the number 1 quarterback, number 5, number 3, or whatever, sure, you got to include that context. But we're not talking about who's top quarterback, who's the number 1 quarterback, who's top 5 or whatever. We're talking about, can you beat said team? And that system is extremely tough to deal with if they're clicking. So you got to be on your game against that squad, man.
All right, exactly. And I'm with you, Scott. I ain't never cared about the accolade, the MVP award, or anything like that, especially as it relates to Dak. Just to have Dak in that conversation after some of the things that have been said about him. Again, he could play. Dak could always play.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go back a little bit and I'll leave you with this, man. What was the biggest difference between the team from when Dak and Zeke got on the team from 2016 to 2015 was what? Nothing. Tony Romo got hurt 2015. They still ran 4,000 yards with another running back. They still had the same offensive line, but they couldn't win 4 games. So you put Dak there, and all of a sudden they're a 13-win team again like they were the year before with Romo. You could almost make that same corollary with Brock Purdy. So a guy can play, he can play.
Sure.
All of this nonsense that's all that nonsense that's been following Dak around about he can't play, he needs this, he needs that. I love that Mike McCarthy kind of figured it out after what happened in San Francisco, and he affirmed that Dak Prescott is a quarterback that can play. And so he let him play, and we see in the results. So you got to do it on the field. And I'm with you, it's one game at a time, man. But, hey, y'all better learn something about football. You can either play it or you can't. You better stop worrying about how fast and stop worrying about a guy's combine numbers and stop worrying about your fantasy pick. Watch what that guy doing on the field.
Yes,
Watch what he's doing. Watch who he's doing it against, and learn to put some respect on some people's names. I feel Brock Purdy more than I do Jalen Hurts because Brock Purdy can win from the pocket like the quarterback's supposed to.
Come on, man. Talk to him.
So don't get ahead of yourself. But we can win, too, because we got a guy that can slice and dice, and his name is Dak Prescott. Ain't nobody got to like it. I ain't saying anybody got to like it, but it is what it is. One game at a time. Let's see what we do. Thank you, Scott.
Yes,
how about
indeed.
the Cowboys?
How about them, baby? Appreciate you, Marcus. See, now you got me fired up. But I want to get straight into the cookout now. So let's just go ahead and do it, because I do want to talk about that. I was trying to bury the lead here. Let's do it. I'm curious, a couple of y'all here who don't like Dak Prescott. Like, does it hurt? I'm not trying to be petty about this because we still got plenty of season left. You know, obviously we got to get to the postseason and things like that. But there's legitimate people who's like, man, he can't do this. He can't do that. I'm out on him. I'm blah, blah, blah. And they just stick to this whole thing. Well, these were against bad teams. Let's see what he does against the Seattle team. Well, this is against bad defense. That Seattle secondary is not bad. I told y'all that coming into this thing. This dude is in complete control. Are you sick? Are y'all sick? Does it hurt? Because it shouldn't. It should feel good. But we know how y'all is. Y'all just waiting for the other shoe to drop and y'all come right back in here on y'all bull jive. Anyway, Dak Prescott is in complete control, man. And he's looking like the top quarterback in the league right now, including Purdy and Mahomes and all those guys. Shouts out to Purdy, good quarterback. But the things that Dak is doing at the quarterback position week in and week out from this consistent basis, really, and this is what pisses me off. People say, well, since week 6, man, he's really been playing the position well the whole year except one game. They just finally said, okay, enough with the Texas coast. We're going to do the here we go coast. And he's able to put up these spectacular numbers. But numbers be damned. Watch him play the position. I don't see anybody playing it better than him. Now, like I said, this game to me was more impressive. I talked about this on the post-game show. This was more impressive to me than most of these other games because of the competition. The Woolens and Witherspoons and Diggs and like that secondary is quality. That second unit is quality in the linebacker room. Their scheme does not allow you to go deep. It makes you have to matriculate down the field and try not to make a mistake, take care of the ball. They want you to turn it over. He hasn't done that. He hasn't been doing that this year. So what did Dallas do? What did Dak do? Scoring drives of 14 plays, 11 plays, 16 plays, 12 plays. It hurt, don't it? Game-winning drive of 7 plays. And it wasn't like it was perfect because, you know, that's the whole thing right now. Oh, well, let's see what happens when he I swear to God, that dude I need to check on his head. There was a lot of coverage sacks in this game. Shots out to Seattle's, defense from time to time. Dak got sacked 4 times, and I think it felt like all 4 of them were coverage sacks. There was pressure. I mean, Terrence, Biotish, Tyler, both. They were giving up some pressures in this game. This wasn't the Washington game. And he came through. He delivered. Here's Mike McCarthy and one of Dak's goons on the game that Dak had.
But yeah, Dak's playing great ball. It's fun when when you're in this rhythm. He has such great command, and it's just a connection, with his teammates, on the field at the line of scrimmage. We're getting in and out of things seamlessly. We're playing with a really good pace, and and that's just how we want to play. We want to attack, and you can only do it, with the championship, caliber quarterback, and Dak is that guy.
I have the ultimate confidence in him. I mean, he's making these plays, these throws in practice, so it doesn't really surprise me. I mean, that's the kind of guy he is. That's the kind of quarterback he is. That's the kind of man he is, and that's someone who you want to get behind. And I'm good with that. He's our leader, so I'm right behind him. I tell him that every day.
Speaking of Ferg, ASAP, man. Look, I don't like to be the whole pat yourself on the back thing, but I'm just so happy to see Jake Ferguson shut all y'all up that was saying Jake Ferguson ain't like that. Apologies, I'm getting a little. This dude, man, 6 receptions, 77 yards, a touchdown. Honestly, it really wasn't even about the numbers. It really wasn't about the numbers for Jake Ferguson for me. It was about the how. We talk about dogs and all this other stuff. It's a cliche word, whatever you want to call it. Jake Ferguson has that attitude that complements this team at the perfect position to do so. When he was drafted last year, and I did all this research on him and whatnot, found out, this dude played linebacker, right? Grow up in Big Ten country. You see it on the field that Jake wants to smoke. They talked about it. You saw it at camp. Jake is a confident dude. Goes out there against Seattle. Seattle wants to play, let's hit him late. Let's get physical. Let's get in his face. And they thought that Jake was going to lay down. No. Jamal Adams was hilarious, by the way. I feel like Jake brings a completely different energy at that position that we haven't seen in, a half decade. And you could, if we keep it in the bean, you could go a little bit further. I know that goes into Jason Witten, but the end of Jason Witten wasn't the same. The end of Jason Witten, to me, was not better than this Jake Ferguson. I repeat, the end of Jason Witten, to me, was not better than this Jake Ferguson. Dalton Schultz at any point was not better than this Jake Ferguson. And he's the third wheel. Stop playing with this dude, man. Right now, he's top 10 in yards at the position. He's second in touchdowns. He's top 10 in yards after reception. Top 10 in yards after reception per catch. He is a complete tight end. And look, I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to go overboard. But if he was featured like the Kittles and like the Kelseys of the world and the Andrews and whatnot, he would 100% be in that conversation. The only reason why you could say, well, he's not at the moment is because he's a second-year player and these guys are tenured and et cetera, et cetera. But I'm saying, how many tight ends do you think, talent-wise, right now, you could throw in Kyle Pitts 4-3. I don't give a damn. All around, blocking with the attitude, the hands. His route running is improved. He's smooth as hell after the catch. He tried to run over Bobby Wagner. I don't know why he tried to do it. Bobby Wagner's a goddamn house. I don't think you can name me 5. I'm not trying to go overboard, but this is not like I wasn't standing on this business since week 1. We want to say top 10, man. He top 5. I get fired up about Jake, man. Because it was so obvious to see on film last year. And when when Kelsey comes out and Kelsey says, hey, that mother in Dallas, y'all gonna doubt Travis? This is pre Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce. So his mind was right. Post Taylor Swift, Travis. I don't know what's going on. This was pre Travis Kelce. This is when Travis, he liked the chocolate milk, you know? Travis got the white milk now. This is pre Travis. Y'all want to talk about Jake Ferguson. We need to draft Dalton Kincaid. Sam Laporta. He balling though. He not. But Jake is like that. Nah, we good, man. We good over here. CeeDee Lamb. Also at the grown folk table, of course. 12 receptions, $116 on 17 targets. And honestly, I love the 17 targets. Oh, we've been waiting for one of these Jamar Chase type games. Right? We've been waiting for one of these. Give me 17 targets of CeeDee Lamb every week. I'm fine. Nah, you ain't got to do it every week. But you know what I'm saying. Target him. They're locked in, man. Dak and CeeDee are locked in like no other in this league, in my opinion. 6 100-yard game. 7th touchdown of the season. And here's the most important thing, because there was times throughout this season, and specifically in the Philly game, where, hey, look, it's time to go to your big time players. We need you. The last 2 drives, the Cowboys gave Lamb 4 touches, and he got 3 first downs on those drives to set up the game-winning touchdown. 2, Jake Ferguson. So that's a grown folk table. It's not a lot of people. I didn't crowd it. I felt like I wanted to include, in my opinion, the big 3 players from this game, and all of them came on the offensive side of the ball, of course. However, that does not mean we cannot recognize other players that contributed to this victory. So let's take them on a walk here. I might have some surprises for y'all, but just hear me out on this. Yes, that guy you see on the far left, the one y'all love to hate, Jordan Lewis is on the wall. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look, this defense, I'm not about to sit here and try to hype up the defense from Sunday or from Thursday. It was atrocious for most of the day. But when they had to have it, right, when you had to dig deep and get a stop, and that's something this defense has done, whether it be in Philly, has done, whether it be in L.A. against the Chargers, and they did it on Thursday. There were a handful of guys who made some big-time plays that resulted in 3 consecutive turnover on downs for the Seattle Seahawks. 3. After they gave up like 6 straight touchdowns, 5 straight touchdowns, they had 3 straight 4 and outs, or turnover on downs, basically. It wasn't 4 and outs, but turnover on downs. Jordan Lewis was a part of 2 of the biggest drives to end the game with 2 huge pass breakups on 3rd down. Out of the slot, by the way, so this ain't like emotion amount. That is a tough responsibility that I don't think we really truly appreciate against a tough assignment. We talked about this all week. Jackson Smith and Jigba, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, they all go in that slot, and it was going to be a tough one. But J. Lou stepped up when it mattered the most with 2 crucial pass breakups. So I got to put my arm around his neck and bring him on the walk, man. You know, J. Lou kind of like that cousin that just always up, you know. I'm not saying that, but that's how it feels to the family, right? But then you got, you know, he's one of your cousin's favorite cousins, but they'll never invite him to stuff. Well, we're going to invite him to the walk this time. Sticking to the defensive side of the ball, Osa Odighizuwa had his 2nd most stops of the season, 4 of them. And he provided a key pressure, I think, on one of those 4th downs, one where I think Deron Bland could have had a pick. Glad he didn't, because it saved like 25, 30 yards. And right now, I think Osa Odighizuwa has the top pressures from interiors or top pressure rate or something like that. Regardless, this dude has now established himself, in my opinion, as one of the top interior defenders in the entire National Football League. This was a trajectory we were all expecting and hoping for him to hit this season, and he's done it, man. He's done it. He's the guy I don't want to take off the field. He needs to be out there 85% of the time. I know that Dan Quinn likes to go ahead and do all this. No. If he ain't tired, keep his ass out there. Osa's like that. DeMarcus Lawrence. D-Law, man, he just continues to be clutch. I don't know if we remember this, but last year, a Lions game on a goal line forces the fumble. Texans game on a goal line, 4th down stop. Last week, Seattle, 4th and 1. What does D-Law do? Turns on the clutch gene. Next thing you know, the Cowboys go down. I think they get either a touchdown or a field goal and bring it closer. Just huge play by D-Law. And he just seems to always come up with these kind of plays. For whatever reason, teams don't learn their lesson. Don't run to his side. Don't run to D-Law side. You know what? I apologize. Do run to D-Law side. Do run to D-Law side. 4 stops, 3 pressures, and obviously this 4th and 1 was the biggest one. So D-Law is clearly going on a walk with us this time around. And then finally, and I left one open for y'all to go ahead and throw somebody in there. Finally, Brandon Cooks, man. You know, Brandon Cooks he didn't put up the $150 like he did plus against the Giants or whatever the last few weeks. But he's starting to become extremely reliable. 4 targets, 4 receptions, 45 yards, a touchdown, plus the 2-point conversion, which was huge. That's now 4 straight games for Brandon Cooks where he has a 75% completion rate or higher. If that were to stay, that'd be a career high, but it's not there just yet. And in 3 of those 4 games, he has 3 touchdowns. And if you want to go all the way back to since week 5, he's one of the guys that's turned up. He's got 5 touchdowns since then. And what I love about Cooks, I think he complements CD Lamb so perfectly. He gives you the speed aspect. He can look, people don't really talk about this, but man, he's one of the better route runners we've had over the last decade, in my opinion. Sure-handed, tough. And teams are going to forget about him, right? Teams are always going to forget about Cooks. Not always, I shouldn't say that. But teams are going to say, okay, 17 targets to CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, I got to pay attention to him. Next thing you know, Brandon Cooks is one-on-one with Bobby Wagner. But when you like watch the tape on Brandon Cooks. This dude has mastered this route tree. He probably mastered every route tree. This isn't a foreign offense to him. But the spacing that he is able to maintain, he knows how to get open. If they truly wanted to target Brandon Cooks 10 times, I think he legitimately have 7 receptions every game and a tutty. But when you got a guy like CD Lamb and Jake Ferguson, you got to spread the ball around. So that's my walk. I got Jay Lou for the pass breakups, Osa and D-Law for just being clutch, and then Brandon Cooks for just being consistent for Dak Prescott and CD Lamb. Just being consistent. A guy that, again, if you sleep on, he'll cook you. I left that open for y'all. Y'all can throw one in there. I mean, do y'all want to put Deron Bland? I left him out of this one. I know he had a clutch turnover, but I left him out. Jalen Tolbert had a clutch play. Left him out. You guys can throw somebody in there. Brandon Aubrey. I thought about putting Brandon Aubrey at the table. So Brandon Aubrey on the walk is a good one. The Cowboys win by 6. Brandon Aubrey had 4 field goals, right? So huge. I like Brandon Aubrey. I like that one. Tyron, yeah, he only gave up, I think, like 1 pressure in this game. He continues to shut stuff down on the left side. He's just in the zone, man. Tyron's a good one. Big Hank on the walk. I don't know. I felt like I wanted to put those players on the walk that made those huge clutch plays at the end. That's kind of why I put those guys. But to be completely honest, ain't too many people on defense. I'm really, Micah. Micah got that, he got that pressure at the end, and he was pressuring really all day. This was crazy. This game was nuts. Geno Smith was pressured like 52% of the time in that game. And he just kept getting it out. Man, when are they going to sack this guy? And the one time I thought they had a sack, Micah tripped him up. I think his knee might have went down, but he still got rid of the ball. Another one got rid of the ball. Geno Smith balled out, man. That's why I put nobody at the grown folk table from the defense, because Geno Smith had 4 total touchdowns. DK Metcalf is just extremely difficult to deal with. The whole receiving core is tough to deal with, honestly. Brian Anger for holding. Oh, Hank balling. No. This is just about this game. Y'all know how I feel about Hank. One of the most underrated defensive players on this team, without a shadow of a doubt. Had him at the grown folk table last week, if y'all remember. But all right, let's go ahead and get back to the phone lines, because enough of me talking. I want to hear from y'all from this game and chat it up. So let's get to my guy, Mel. What's good, bro?
Good morning, King, to the morning King. What's going on, my G?
Got to get a shirt that says that, Morning King.
Hey, man, that's the D-Law that I've been asking to see. I know D-Law is going to do a great job setting the edge. I know D-Law is going to do a great job stopping the run. But I be asking just D-Law to make more plays. And I know setting the edge and all of that is making a play. But getting in the backfield, disrupting what they was doing, man, he balled out, bro. Like, to me, D-Law and Dak, your two, I think, I could be wrong, but are those the 2 longest tenured Cowboys?
I don't know. No, Tyron Smith, Zach Martin. D-Law is up there with Zach Martin.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, to me, those 2 dudes, I could see more than – yeah. D-Law was so locked in, bro. Like, D-Law, I had never –
so
like, bro, was so locked in.
And I don't mean to push back on you because I know how you feel about it. But, like, he got, like, 2 sacks in the last 4 games. He's got 7 stops in that same time frame. Like, he's been making plays. He just ain't forcing no fumbles or getting picks or nothing like that. But D-Law's been one of your most consistent players, I think, this year, bro. I just truly do believe that.
So when I say
he got 4 sacks
let
on the season,
me kind of clarify,
because I know you was like, as soon as you said I want him to get sacks, he got 3 of them after that.
Yeah, that's true. But hey, but this was a big game, and it was clutch moments. like it was a big game in clutch moments, and he showed up. I'm really just giving him his props. Like,
Sure.
You know, people could feel however they want to feel about D-Law, whether they think he's the best defensive end or whether they think he doesn't do enough.
He the best.
I'm probably somewhere in the middle.
He the best run defensive end. I won't say he's the best defensive end, but he's a well-rounded defensive end, and I don't know one that's better against the run.
He's a very, very great, well-rounded defensive end.
Yeah.
I do agree with that. I do be wanting more from the pass rush, but like you say, he has had some sacks in the last couple of games. But this particular game, to me, he was my personal MVP because on that 4th and 1, you don't win the game without that play. The plays he was making towards the back end of that game, you don't win the game without him making those plays. Real quick, I want to talk about Deron Bland with you. Go ahead.
Last thing that I forgot to bring up was that last 4th down play where he peeled off of his rush, and Bo Dallas was it his name? The running back. Like if Geno can get it to the back, he might get that first down or more. So that was another one. Again, you don't see that on the stat sheet. That doesn't come up, but that was a huge play of him recognizing that. So yeah, man, D-Law in the clutch moments. Absolutely.
Even Micah coming free on the last play, that was D-Law. Micah coming free on the last play, D-Law made that play.
That was by design, and again, had D-Law not peeled, it would have worked. Because they did it before and hit a big play. I don't think, if you guys remember earlier in the game, they let Micah come free and they dumped it off to the running back and he got a nice gain. They tried to do it again and D-Law peeled right off of it and he was nowhere to be. So D-Law and Micah with combination made that thing happen. DJ Dallas,
he was
not
on.
Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas a wrestler.
But real quick, we know you like your wrestling, man.
I know, bro. I was like something Dallas, but anyway, go ahead.
But Deron Bland, real quick on Deron, maybe not real quick, but on Deron Bland, I think a lot of people, not real quick, but I think a lot
I'm laughing at the whole Wyatt Bo Dallas days. People that watch wrestling know what I'm talking about. Anyway, Deron Bland, go ahead.
I think people, to me, still got to remember, man, I still view Deron Bland as a slot corner who is being asked to play on the outside because your number one corner is down. I think the interceptions have kind of propelled Deron Bland into kind of, he's a shutdown corner or he's a lockdown corner. Or to me, I still view Deron as a slot corner who's being asked to play on the outside. I don't think his strength right now and at this point in his career is going to be playing against guys like DK, A.J. Brown, and some of those kind of upper echelon, bigger receivers. I still think you got to put Gilly on those type of guys. Right now, that's going to give you the best chance. If you notice in the first half what was going on, and then in the second half when they put Gilly on DK, I think he only had maybe like 24, 30-something yards like that. I think DQ has to make that adjustment to kind of get Deron off of some of those guys so that you're going to give him a better chance at having success, man. What's your thoughts, man?
I wanted to let you finish out of respect here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Answer this for me. Are you overreacting here? Is this, and I'm going to use the correct term, are you being hyperbolic because of, I'm going to just say last game. I know the other game was tough, but the whole secondary, it was tough. They were all getting worse. Are we being hyperbolic saying that? Because I'm curious how you would have felt before that when he was shutting down everything out there. I mean, you were better off literally dirting the ball. I've seen him lock up Kupp. I've seen him lock up whatever your number one wide receiver was out there. I've seen him do it, consistently. And you say, so I thought you were going to go somewhere else. You said, I need people to be reminded that you think he's a slot corner playing out there. I thought you were going to say, I need people to be reminded he's a young second-year player. Like, we forget that. We totally forget he's only in his second season, probably really going on a year and a half of actually starting because he wasn't a starter last year. So I'm asking you that question. Do you feel like you're being hyperbolic because of what happened last week, or you truly do believe, even with all the evidence that you saw in the postseason last year and previously, you truly believe he can't play receivers out there?
So that's why I love having these conversations with you. That's why I love having these conversations with you. Okay, so that was one of the reasons why I did say at this point in his career, I just didn't use the term, second-year corner. At this point in his career. And when I said the receivers out there, that's why I said A.J. Brown, and that's why I said DK. Really, it seems to be the bigger guys.
I love him on A.J. Brown. He didn't get a chance to go up against him a whole lot. It was Devontae Smith who got the best of him in that game.
Devontae got okay
on that deep ball. Which again, great ball placement, but it wasn't. I don't recall A.J. work. I recall A.J. working Gilly. I don't recall A.J. working Bland.
Well, even to be honest, even if you look at and honestly, no, I have always thought that Duron is a guy you can get completions on, bro. That's just what I see. Duron is a guy that you can get some completions on.
I mean,
but if you're late, go ahead.
Statistically, that wasn't a thing until the last 2 weeks. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like, are we possibly just? And I know I'm pushing my thoughts on yours, and I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm just trying to get. Is it because of the last 2 weeks? Like, is it because of that? Because before that, bro, his completion percentage rate was extremely far down. You couldn't throw his way because his pass rating was like 34, and obviously he was getting interceptions. So, and the film backed it up, and then obviously the numbers backed it up until these past 2 weeks. Coincides, obviously, with the 3 games in 12 days as well. So, man, I just feel like we're being a bit hyperbolic about it.
So, even when you factor in some of like the statistical stuff, there's other stuff like we say that always doesn't come up on the stat sheet. Some of those balls are dirted, they're throwaways, they're just in his direction. So it's not necessarily always like, okay, like I would really like to see, and maybe this might be a question for Professor O, I would like to see where Duron ranks in actual pass breakups, because that kind of more so to me reflects like, okay, you're throwing in his direction and he's getting his hands on the ball and breaking the pass up. But to me, sometimes I do see Duron.
He's like that. Like here's the thing. Do you want 8 PBUs or 8 interceptions?
No, I want the 8 interceptions. Right. Scott, I don't mind the completions against Duron. I don't mind that. I'm okay with that.
Sure.
I'm more saying it for the people that are like somebody was saying, maybe we should take a look at Marcus Peters. I'm like, it's the same guy, right? I'm like,
no. Let me go ahead though and further your slot thing. If I can go back here. Remember a few weeks ago we were at trade deadline and what should the Cowboys do? I was very interested in Jalen Johnson, and it was part because we could put Duron back in this. Not saying that I needed to. I didn't think it was a need. I think personally Duron and Diggs is your future on the outside. However, if you'd have got Jalen, then it would have been Jalen, Duron, and Diggs. For the next 3 years, you could put Duron back in the slot, and he is a weapon in there. I'm not even fighting you on that though, Mel. Like I do think he is a weapon on the interior because he's physical in the run game.
I think slot corners are harder to find than outside corners, Sky. So when I say the slot corner, I don't mean that to degrade what he's capable of doing. I simply mean it as if you look at the past 2 training camps that he's participated in. He's participated as working in the slot.
Sure.
So then when Diggs goes down and you say, okay, now we need you to play on the outside, that's different technique involved.
And
that's different film study involved.
You know what I'm saying? So it'd be one thing if he wasn't. It'd be one thing if he wasn't.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not saying this. I'm not saying like he's not balling. But I am saying when he's going up against, to me, some of those, like a A.J. Brown or I'm using A.J. because he's a bigger, Brown, more physical guy.
I think he can work A.J. I think he can do it. DK Metcalf is a damn machine. They decided to wake him up. We talked about this coming into the game where he had a bad game against the Niners. Don't be surprised if they go to him early. That dude is a machine. He got off on him. Hey, it happens, right? His confidence got shaken in the first half.
And Sky, look,
it happens.
Even the catches that he had on Duron, it wasn't like Duron just wasn't in the frame. He was there on most of those receptions. It just was the one of them, like people were saying, oh, he gave up this many yards. Well, one of them was 73 yards. and it was a catch and run. So that's kind of tough to kind of say.
If we were to break it down, look, the catch and run one was Donovan Wilson. What the hell are you doing? In my opinion, I think Dono should be in a better position. The other one, just an absolute dime by Geno and great, not putting your hands up. If you look at how DK played that, Duran was right there. Just Duran is reading, waiting for him to put his hands up, and it didn't happen. And then the touchdown with the quick slant, that's just he just got worked on the quick slant on the inside, and it is what it is. So yeah, I don't think it was like he was out there just getting routed up. He just plays were being made on him in that game. So to land the plane on this one, look, Duran in the slot I think is a playmaker too. But I do think Duran has been way more than Pro Bowl worthy type of playing on the boundary as well. And he's been all pro worthy. He's having an all pro season. Yeah, I'm not. I hope it's not coming off like I'm saying Duran ain't been balling or Duran can't play. What I am saying is, okay, I'm gonna just ask you the question and then I'm gonna jump off. Okay. I'll ask you the question. Were you okay with the second half adjustment? Oh, don't get it
to put Gilly on DK and take Duran and put him on the other side and have Gilly start following.
Why wouldn't I be? It worked. You know what I'm saying? It absolutely worked. I'm not. So if you're talking about specifically this game, again, he did not have a great game. I can't even argue with that. And that making that adjustment, me and Jesse talked about it. That was, I think, from everybody, whether it be Al Harris, Gilly, Deron Bland, and DQ. Everybody had a play in that because Deron Bland could have had ego, right, and said, no, I don't want to do this and continue to get work. He could also just put his head down and say, I've been getting worked in the first half. I'm just going to give up. No, he got a huge clutch interception in that second half. And then shouts out to Gilly for saying, hey, youngin, I got you, man. Every week, you likely going to be on these type of dudes, but sometimes it may not be your day. Let me work on DK Metcalf, and let's get out of here with this dub. And it happens. So, shouts out to them for making that. Yeah, I'm glad as hell they made that adjustment. But that doesn't diminish my thoughts of Deron Bland. Deron Bland is still a fantastic corner that had a bad day.
I think we agree. We both agree with that 100%. We agree with that 100%.
My man.
Well, bro, man, always love talking to you, man. Love different perspectives, bro. Man, I appreciate you, bro. And go Cowboys, man. Let's go get these Eagles this week.
Shouts out to you, Mel. Good discussion. Good discussion there. Because I had a feeling the Bland, I don't want to call it discourse. It shouldn't be any, right? But wasn't a great game. I was curious how people came out of this game feeling about him. And Mel, I do hold his opinions high. So slot Bland, I said this plenty of times. We talked about this. This is kind of more of a Tyler Smith situation where you go into the draft saying, man, Tyler can do two things. So you can use that to your advantage. And I think you can technically do that going into the draft this year or free agency too. And say, hey, man, I've seen him be excellent both outside and inside. Where can I get the best of what's left going into next year? This is a next year discussion. Right now, Bland keeping his ass on the outside, right? And he just got to bounce back from that game. And I think he will, bro. That's one thing I like about Deron Bland is even if he messes up, he's shown the ability to bounce back. And we had a discussion. I know we talked to him about that. Do we need to improve on our red zone defense? Absolutely. Against those type of offenses. And our red zone offense. So, CTS. The red zone offense has improved, but I still don't know that we have like go-to money plays down there. I feel like we shotgun, dial it up, and, Dak does his thing. They got down there 8 times. I mean, 4 touchdowns is double what most teams get in a game. The Cowboys are third, I believe, in the league, or if not third, top 10 in red zone touchdowns per game. So the Cowboys are scoring red zone touchdowns, I think it is third, at a high rate every game. The reason why the percentage is skewed, even though they're way better than they were at the beginning, is because they get down there so much. And if they get down there 8 times and you only score 4, that says 50%. Not awful, but not great. Whereas if you got down there 5 times and scored 4, same amount of touchdowns, just less attempts. So I think there's a juggling here where, yes, they're better, way better than they were in the red zone, but they could still be even better. And you don't want it to come bite you in the ass like it did in Philly. You know what I'm saying? So it's weird, man. The red zone offense is weird because what happened in first possession, then they scored like 4 straight times down there or whatever it was. What's up, bro? Man, we got Vach on the horn, ladies and gentlemen, from the volume. And I know he got some things on his mind. What's good with you, brother?
Will Steele, first of all, God bless you. God bless your family.
Don't
bless
do that.
The volume, bless A to Z, first and foremost. Listen, Scott, I think one of the biggest problems that we have with our fan base, and I don't think it's going to be a problem very long, because it's me and your job to make sure that the audience is conditioned for what's to come. That's our job, right? We need people to get out of this mindset that Dak Prescott's not a dude. For some reason, people still walk around here thinking that Dak Prescott is an average quarterback, or they think he's a cool little quarterback,
Idiots.
or they think he's you know what I'm saying? Or they think he's just a good quarterback because, Shady and Joy Taylor said so. Scott, I was watching this post game press conference with that same jacket that the damn Punisher had that damn Frank Castle jacket on, Scott. And I looked at that dude and he sounded like an elite quarterback, Scott. Normally when Dak goes out there and beat teams, let's just keep it a buck, he'll beat the hell out of some of these teams, right? He'll have some bright suit on. He'll be smiling, giggling. He can't wait to answer questions. Scott, this game in particular was a game where everybody stacked these expectations on Dak. When is he going to do it versus a winning team? When is he going to do it versus a contender, versus a good defense, versus, when your defense isn't playing great or your offense, when everything's not perfect for you and it's on your back? When are you going to win that type of game, Skywalker Steele? And Dak Prescott, with the same jacket Blade had on when he was hunting these damn vampires, Dak Prescott looked all these people in the face. He looked all these people in the face, and Scott, he wasn't smiley, he wasn't giggly. He was like, man, it is what it is. This is our time now. This is what our offense is. This is who I am as a quarterback, Scott. And then he proceeded to say something else that was incredibly interesting to me, Scott. And it's early in the morning. I'm not going to scream because some people driving to work. Dak Prescott stood on that podium with the same jacket Denzel had on in training day, right? He stood at that podium and he said, man, I don't want to hear all the good things that people say, because it's the same things that these people would say when they was talking bad about me or when they was coming from my spot. Now, Scott, it was interesting because this whole time I listened to Dak Prescott, I'd assumed that he didn't hear the noise. I'd assumed that he wasn't on social media. I'd assumed that he didn't care what the narrative was about him. Scott, Dak Prescott don't say nothing for no reason. He don't say nothing for no reason. And in this game, where he had proven all the critics wrong, where he's not smiling, he's on the podium, he's all business, where we're looking at him saying, oh, Dak Prescott, you just did something incredible. Dak Prescott looks back at the media and says, you know what? Not only is this not all that impressive, not only do I have so much more to go, but I know all y'all goofy ass had set up all these hurdles for me. I know all y'all set up all of these damn speed bumps for me. All of y'all set up these unreal expectations for me, and you hold these standards for me that you don't hold for nobody else. And Dak Prescott looked at y'all without laughing, and he said, you know what? I'm in control of my own destiny. Y'all can write what you want to write. I'm going to go kick it with my lady. I'm going to rub her tummy. I'm going to watch Sunday night football, and I'm going to be chilling. And when it's time to go and play that bunch, the Philadelphia Eagles, we're going to be locked in and ready to whoop their ass because I'm an elite quarterback, and that's the energy and the aura that I carry now. Dak ain't playing, Scott. Dak ain't playing, Scott. And I just think everybody needs to know that. Everybody needs to be prepared. Everybody needs to be focused for this new Dak Prescott that's coming, for this Dak Prescott that's in his elite era, this Dak Prescott that is in his Drew Brees, his Peyton Manning, his Ben Roethlisberger era. See, all those great quarterbacks when Ben was young, when Tom was young, when Peyton Manning was young, when Drew Brees was a damn Charger. See, all those guys, even those guys didn't have the type of start that Dak Prescott got. Dak Prescott's first 8 years compared to those guys, he's destroying those guys. But now that Dak is 30, Dak is grown. Dak is a man. Dak is a daddy, and he wears dark clothes to press conferences. Dak is entering that era. I don't want to hear nothing about Dak's money. I don't want to hear nothing about the type of quarterback that he is. I don't want to hear nothing about wins. I don't want to hear nothing about stats. We have an elite quarterback. We have a dude, and he's going to take us to the promised land. It's going to have to be that way. As much faith as we had in this defense, and I still think this defense is a very formidable top 10 or so defense. If we're going to win this damn thing, it's going to be on the back of number 4, and I trust him, Sky. I'll talk to you later. It's going to be lawyers and people in Jordan.
Acknowledge me.
That's basically what he's saying. Appreciate you, man. This was probably a preview of what Vach and I will be talking about later on the volume, by the way. Shouts out to him. Dak says, and I didn't even bring this up, but it was going around the ways, right? I have the pen, I have the paper, and I am the one writing. We have to stay focused on running our own race and understanding that we will get these guys again. Talking about Philly. I believe that's what he was talking about. Maybe. We'll see. You know what happens. Although we play them next week, that's all that really matters. But I love that from him. I have the pen. I have the paper. I am the one writing. I know everybody tried to say it was the whole Geno Smith thing. But I don't care. It's true. You know. And I don't think he's really answered much for these people. And I don't care about the joys and the shadies. Those they are, something is wrong with them. But even our own fans, I told y'all before, this thing get done, it ain't them that I'm coming for. Nope. Because I don't blame them. That's what they're going to do. I'm going to get the engagement. They're going to hate, especially a former Eagle. It is what it is. It's y'all that I got the problem with. It's y'all that don't pay attention to the rest of the league. And you see a guy like Dak Prescott doing what he's doing this season, and we're still, what Fluffy say that the it's the Rams who are 6-6, by the way, so they said we can't be. It's the Giants. It's Philly. They're going, they're way all the way to the NFC Championship game if he continues to play like this. You got one. It ain't that difficult to see either. Like, that's what blows my mind. You got one. And y'all want to start the hell over. What's wrong with y'all, man?
What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy.
I usually end these things with Marv, but Marv been on here for a while. I don't want to do that to you, Marv. What's good, brother?
What up, Phil?
What's up with you, man? The way you come on.
Hey, loving your show.
Thank you.
But Bosch killed it. Woo! Bosch.
He's preaching.
Man. Oh, man. I want to ask all these delusional fans. Now, before I start still,
okay,
what guy I be on? Before I say, tell them who I be talking about still.
Who do you be? Marv, you talk about a lot of people, Marv. So I can't get in your mind right now. Who you talking about?
My D coordinator.
Oh yeah, you definitely be on his ass. Yeah, you do.
Yep. That's yep. So I'm not worried about this quarterback. He's back to his old. And he's dangerous. This is one of the most dangerous quarterbacks in the NFL, y'all. Now, I'm going to tell all you fans on here, another guy that's getting dangerous. And if y'all ain't watching y'all film session, like Vaj and Steele, and they creeping up, they won on Sunday Night Football. Green Bay Packers.
Hey, yo, Marv.
Hey, everybody laugh. That
I'm
might
here
be.
to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
Marv, what the...
Thank you. But I'm just saying, this thing's gonna be dangerous. Everybody was bragging on that Philly. Philly ain't gonna make it, y'all. I'm telling y'all. Okay. You Philly fans on here, and I told my friend last night, I said, y'all done lucked up and won against all. See, they won't put you on the show still. I wish they had you on the show so you could say, okay,
on what
y'all
show?
keep talking about Dak and one of them talk shows.
Oh no. They see. I used to hit up Dave Hellman and be like, Dave, I know you got a job to keep, but you way too easy on these dudes. Like you way too easy. And no, because the thing with Dave, he's here. He was here, and I said this to Dave. I've said it today. He's been here in Dallas, so he knows the intricacies of this franchise and this quarterback and this offense and the previous coordinator and all that stuff. And I just thought he let them off easy. So no, they couldn't have me on that show because you know why? They'd be like, nah, he got to go. He can't be embarrassing me like this on TV. So nah, they couldn't have me on that show.
So you would embarrass me because the main thing you'd say, I know you'd say, okay, hold up, all you.
I'd have spit facts. I'd have been spitting facts. I wouldn't even try to. I wouldn't even try to grandstand. I'd have just straight up spit facts.
Ooh, you would have killed them because they didn't want to say it until the one guy said it. He said, y'all keep talking about Dak didn't play nobody. He said. Philadelphia, the Washington scored 30 on them twice. Dallas destroyed them with 40 burgers.
Yeah,
they lost to Kansas City by a guy dropping a touchdown bomb. They lost to Buffalo because the Buffalo receiver, the quarterback, threw it to the other side.
And what did we say last week, Marv? What did we say when we came here? We said that is not sustainable. Eventually, you're going to trip up. You can't continue to 4 straight times. You eking out by the skin of your teeth, literally inches, away from losing 3 straight games. It could potentially be 4. Dallas, Kansas City, Buffalo, and San Fran. They could have lost all them games. And obviously they won them. So good for them. But when the conversation comes up of can this be sustainable, I don't believe so. So that's just my opinion on it.
And all you people that be trying to hit on this quarterback, y'all the dumbest fans I ever seen in my life. You're not really fans anyway. The dude is playing at an elite level. He's 30 years old. He's still young. He's in an offense that they're having fun with. When you get in an offense that you're having fun in, even the quarterback from Green Bay told you, the Hall of Famer told you, he said, man, this guy's killing everybody. It's coming so easy. It's coming easy, dumb Dallas Cowboy fans. Our weakest link is our safeties. They're acting weak.
What a
first play of the game, a real safety that knew what he was doing had an interception.
Yeah, so I was thinking about waiting until tomorrow to talk about this, but you brought it up. We were talking about this in the Illuminati chat. I'm over these strong safety types in Jaron Kearse and Dono playing coverage like that.
Yes.
I don't agree with putting Dono. I know he's a veteran. He's shown he's had the ability to do it before or whatever. But I don't think that's his strong suit. Why is Malik Hooker not there? Malik Hooker is a natural free safety that's more reading routes and things like that and more of a cover guy. Well, I'd rather Wanye, be involved. But I do think there needs to be a conversation on the deployment of these guys moving forward. I think there is way, 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 way too much put on Malik to be cover one roof guy. And then when he's not doing it, you're not replacing him with another cover one roof guy. You're replacing him with Dono or J-Ron. There's many times this year where I'm seeing 1 and 6 back there, and they're not making any plays on the ball. They just kind of there, or they're not cutting off windows. They're just kind of there. And then you saw what happened with Dono, and maybe there's different discourse on his responsibility. But as a safety, a lot of what you're doing back there is instinct. How do you have trips on one side? The numbers, you have the numbers. Again, I don't mean to get too into the X's and O's. The numbers you had the numbers. You didn't have to bite as hard as he did in the middle of the field, where what you should have done was say, this DK, I don't give a damn if that's Deron Bland out there. Let me keep my eye on DK. And for whatever reason, he got caught in this middle no man's land. And next thing you know, DK snags it and he goes 73. At the very least, he should have made a big hit. At the best, he could have had an interception.
Thank you. He was a real safety. When I seen the play, I say, number 6, come on, bro. If you just stayed where you supposed to be, they was throwing the ball right to you.
Right to you.
Intercept. Now, you put 30 in there. Let me tell all you dumb Cowboys fans why I wanted 30 in the game. Number 30 used to run kickoffs and punts back. So, he can run. You put him at safety, Okay, number 26, we're gonna play bumper run. Number 30, if y'all got him, we're gonna take his ass out. Cause all you dumb Cowboy fans, that number 14 is fast like number 10 from Miami, but he's 6'4". And
hey,
them is two world-class sprinters. Big dummy.
Let me say this right now. DQ better have a totally different game plan against that team. Totally different.
Fuck you. You better not play. You better let him get off the line. I'm going to say, okay, we finna. Hey, number 26.
And closing, Marv. And close.
In closing, we just got to get that defense right. To get the defense got to come through now. No, okay, I'm giving an excuse because they had 4 games in 19 games. Okay,
True.
They got their rest.
4 games in 19
no more playing around. I ain't worried about my number 4. Number 4 gonna get you 40. What I say, Flaw? What I say, Steel? We was gonna score 30 to 40 a game. Cowboys fans, thank God for number 4. Because we would have scored 50 on Seattle, and this was the best corners in the league. They was even shocked. They said, "Man, we can't cover these guys." So, the moral of my story: we're gonna keep winning. That's a number 4 to all you haters. And Philadelphia going to lose this week, and they're going to get torched by Seattle. They're going to lose 3 games in a row. Now, Dan Quinn, I know you listening.
I thought we was in closing, Marv.
Okay, closing. Bring that big boy in the game, big number 4, that other big D tackle, to put him with Hankins and number 90, who's 97.
Oso.
Yeah, Oso. Let's get this championship.
All right, brother.
All right, brother.
Hey, Marv gives you no warnings when he's going to the next topic. Marv just goes straight to it, man. A lot to get in there, but I did want to dive into that safety room a little bit more, man. And y'all know I'm big on safety play, and I am disappointed. I got to keep it a bean. I'm disappointed in the safety play this year. You know, it's not what I thought it would be this year. I think, J-Ron is more locker room, emotional leader type guy than he is an impact player on the field. That's no disrespect to him, but I don't think he's been that impact guy. I hope he finds it and turns it on. Donald's just been big wild card, man. It's just a wild card. And we had this conversation with Koya. Maybe they're not being used the way they used to be used. Donald ain't blitzing. He was a problem when he was playing kind of that rover type situation, roaming around, spy, I'm a blitz. He blitzed like 30-something times last year. He ain't blitzing that much this year. Got him playing a lot of coverage, and then when he plays deep, I don't like it. When him and J-Ron play deep, I don't think those guys play that well. That's not their strength. And Malik can only do so much because he's not going to play back there 100% of the time. They're going to try to switch it up. And I just think they have one cover safety they're choosing to play, and it's Malik. And if you put them all together, I just think it's underwhelming. I do. I would like to see Wanye Thomas more, man. I don't know what. And it's probably not going to happen because of politics, but I would like to see the young kid. It can't hurt you. It can't. I'm not saying your safeties are the worst safeties in the league or anything like that. It's still a deep room. I just don't think putting a young man out there is going to hurt you more than what already is going on out there. I don't. He was a missile, Professor O. He was a missile. I wonder if the calf injury, he got paid, so, he's not going nowhere. But what I would love to see, and this is an off-season conversation, next year he's used more, I don't want to go full Jamal Adams, but more as an aggressive downhill kamikaze type as opposed to back, maybe like a J-Ron, right? And then next year is more Wanye and Malik playing some cover stuff. I'd like to have cover guys back there. I like to have cover. That's just me. B Bird, what's good, man?
Hey, what's up, Scott? How you doing today, bro?
I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. Just trying to. I got a section of my Christmas tree out, man, and it's kicking my butt. So my lighting.
You got a natural
so I'm trying to fix that.
Like a real one, I mean?
No. I got a artificial. It's pre-lit, but in the middle, the lights are out in the middle, so I'm trying to troubleshoot that, and it's kicking my butt right now. So I'm taking a break from that.
Good luck, bro.
Yeah, I know, man. I ended up buying a whole Christmas tree because of some lights. But one thing, too, man, we talked about Hooker, and I did call, I don't know if you remember, the offseason, and after we signed him, I said, man, I was a little bit of, I thought that some of those long balls last year, he showed up late, and the cornerbacks got a lot of.
I do remember that.
Yeah, we had that. And so, I don't know if we've been a really good cover safety team in a while. We've got some guys that'll come down and do some good run support and stuff like that, but just, deep balls and stuff like that, I hadn't really seen, I hadn't been impressed, put it that way.
That's right. I'm with you. I haven't been impressed. I'm trying to straddle the fence of, I'm not saying these guys are bad players. I just thought that these dudes were going to be more on the playmaker side. I'm just underwhelmed, man.
And isn't it kind of ironic that our interception leaders by far are cornerbacks, whereas our safeties don't really get a lot of interceptions? You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit weird. They usually kind of safeties get more interceptions than corners. Usually.
I think in the past that might have been the case. I think, because of the style of defense we play, where it's a bunch of single high, you're going to get a whole lot of opportunities as a corner. You're going to be tested. That's why it was important to have a Diggs, in the blank, because if you test them type of dudes, they'll make you pay because they're good man corners, I think.
So I was calling because I have a friend a longtime friend. He's a Dallas Cowboy fan, but he is a passionate Dak hater, to be totally honest with you.
How's he feeling?
I asked him one time.
How's he feeling?
Well, the thing is that we texted after the 49er game, man. He was all over me.
That's a bad time to text.
But I had, but I hadn't heard much from him lately. And I just told him, I said, I don't know how you gonna reconcile this if we win the Super Bowl and he's like, well, I'm gonna be happy too. I said, I'm not gonna let you be that happy. You ain't gonna be like me. I'm not gonna let you be like me. You're going to be a level under me. If I see you getting too happy, I'm holding you back, man, because you can't just dog a dude out like this and then now be like, okay, he's proving it to me. No, it's not about the person that it's about the person that identifies greatness early, not hey, after Jordan wins 6 championships.
It's a band, you jumping on the bandwagon, right? Like what blows my mind is, like I said, B-Bird, opposing rival fans, social media, TV, I get that. I totally get that. But how are you watching bruh play and you come away with he's mid or he's average, right? How do you come away with that? And then I am curious. You say you haven't heard from him. Hit him up. Hit him up, B-Bird. Ask your Dak hater friends, how you doing? Are you happy? Because it's not like we haven't seen Dak ball out before, right? And y'all still assumed that he wasn't good. If you say, oh yeah, I'm happy now because he's balling, well, he's balled before. He's absolutely has balled out. What has changed to you? Ask him that.
Can I tell you what comes to my mind?
Yeah.
It's Law Nation's what he's saying. He says those convinced against their will are of the same opinion still. So if in their hearts of heart they never thought that Dak was going to be a good quarterback or a great quarterback, then it just doesn't take much for them to go back to that. True. It could be overwhelming evidence that, okay, look at the yards, look at the wins, look at what he's doing, look how he's playing, look at all that. But one bad game brings him right back to where
brings him right back,
because they were never really convinced, man. That's just what it is. And so, and I'll try to get through this, man, because I hadn't talked to you in a while. One of the things after the Arizona game, me and you talked, and we talk a lot. You talked to a lot of people, so you may not remember this. But I said, man, it looks like to me that the Cowboys' strategy with Dak is, hey, man, we're going to limit his mistakes, and we're not going to put the ball in harm's way. And, we're going to win this thing with defense, and we're going to throw outside, stop patterns, and this, that, and the other. Whereas I told you, and I said, hey, man, me and you had a conversation. I said, hey, we're going to win this thing with them just letting Dak be a quarterback. We got to let him be a quarterback and just let him loose and just let him throw all the passes. And one of the things that I've always noticed, not about Dak, but about young quarterbacks, is they don't like throwing deep middle. Only time they throw to the middle is their tight end because they don't really know. This is young quarterbacks. And that's where your money is made at, man. So I think that we've been throwing the ball deep middle, crosser routes, and just letting him attack the whole field. And when you attack the whole field, the defense has to defend the whole field. Because once you start saying stop routes and outside throws and not throwing anything to the middle, it makes it easy for you to defend. And I just think after the San Francisco game, man, we just said, hey, man, forget this. We're just going to go out here and call plays and
cut him loose.
Win a game, whatever.
Ain't that what he said?
Turn him loose, man.
He said we're going to cut Dak loose.
Yeah, and the narrative of the offseason, I don't know why it got to our front office, because we can go back and look and see that some of these interceptions, which, there's an aberration of a year for him. Some of these interceptions was about 4 or 5 of them was really on the receiver. And so you can but we have this, and we have the ability to look at that. Our front office and our coaches should have that same ability. So I don't understand why we came out with this conservative mindset anyway. So anyway,
possibly like you said, up top, I do think there might have been a little bit of pressure, up top. And look, I'll give the benefit of the doubt. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that this is a new offense, and maybe they were trying to figure it out early on. Maybe they really truly did believe, hey, we'll run the ball and lean on defense. But you could tell by the way they prepare for the season that I don't think that was going to be the case, because you didn't load up to be a running team. You loaded up to throw the rock, and they came out and did the opposite. And maybe Mike just said, you know what, man, I need to do this my way. Like I need to be able to do it, because Mike, all the pre-snap motion in the training camp, we didn't see any of it or much of it before week 6, right? We saw all the combination routes, crossers, just really cool things going on, airing it out. Didn't see much of it until week 6, and I'm just like, what's happening here? I'll give you the benefit of the doubt because of the score, but then you get to San Fran, and it was, in my opinion, worse than what we saw the previous weeks in regards to the plan. Absolutely. So I feel like somebody got to the front office, because if you noticed, their verbiage started to switch. It started to be, hey, we got to do more motion, right? Well, the analytics say X, Y, Z, and I'm like, Jerry's talking about this? Somebody got to them dudes, or maybe it was Mike saying, hey, man, look, Dak, me, you, Shoddy, Cosa Nostra type situation, right? This is going to be our thing. Not they thing. We the commission. You know what I'm saying? We the commission. Yeah. We going to take out the bosses silently by doing our thing. And Dak is that what they call him, capo di capi, the boss of bosses right now. And I love it. I love it.
So one thing too, man, after the first 49er loss, me and you talked, and I think McCarthy said that it looked like they were nervous going into the week. And I mentioned to you that sometimes when you're not confident in your game plan, it will show up as nervousness.
Yes.
But what it is
you did say that a couple years ago.
Yeah, it was a couple of years ago. It was after the 49er game when we lost in the playoffs in Dallas. Mm-hmm. But one thing I can tell you is that, so Dak, he got a little swag to him right now, and I think what it is, this man, is that he's confident that the guy calling the plays, no matter what, is going to put them in good position.
Come on.
And the thing about it is, and part of the confidence is that this guy's won a Super Bowl before. This guy's quarterback the MVP quarterback before. These are things that Kellen Moore had never done. And so now he knows that, hey, if they swap up, my guy's he's gonna put us in a position. Like, if whatever defense they run, we got an answer for it. And once you have an answer to the questions, man, get everything. Now you're gonna really look good out there doing it, man. So I just think that the swag comes from, and I like where it comes from, because that means that we can solve some problems out there on the field, man. And I feel like in this offense, got this word from you, we got some easy buttons in this offense, man, that allows us to get out some situations, to get us out of some 2nd and 10s to some 3rd and manageables and things like that. Dak has been taking, real advantage of those situations, man. But Sky, one last thing, I'll tell you this, and I'll get out of here. At the end of the day, man, I tried to not like Brock Purdy's play, but I'm sorry, man. This guy's a baller, man.
Like kid,
He's
man.
in the MVP conversation. And because I don't like San Francisco from back in the day, man. And they're Pittsburgh and Philadelphia on my 3 on my hate list. I can never pull for them. But I got to give, as a football, person watching it, you just got to give the kid credit, man. He's a baller. He's an MVP conversation, and it is what it is. They're going to be a monster of a team to beat. Can we beat them? Yes, we can. We just got to find the right day and go in there and play our game and win. If we can bring this Dak to San Francisco, this Dak to Philadelphia, we got a chance to be up there for number 6, man. And I'm gonna holler at you later, brother.
Appreciate you, B-Bird. You know what? I have no doubt that Dak will show up. I have no doubt at all. I mean, the dude is in the zone, and I said this before, and I hate the narrative of, oh, just since week 6 because the gaudy numbers. He's really been locked in before that. He was locked in before that. He was just operating the system that his coach wanted him to operate. We said this before, right? We always talk about the effort in this, right? In the system. It's not really his game in a sense, right? It's I trust you. I'm going to trust everybody. I'm going to trust you, Michael Gallup, 15 times. I'm going to throw to you. I'm going to trust you, Kellen Moore. I'm going to trust you, Mike. I'm going to trust you. You want us to come out here and run the West Coast offense and just be precision and be precise and not, I'm going to do that. Then obviously something changed, whether it be him, whether it be Mike, whether it be front office, somebody said this ain't going to work. And we're going to cut him loose because we know he can do that. They cut him loose, and I bet we don't never go back to that. He brought up the confidence, essentially, with Mike McCarthy. The swagger, really. I think Dak has always had confidence. In fact, last year, people were arguing he's overconfident because he was making these throws or whatnot. I think the difference is 100%. You've got a play caller that knows what the hell he's doing. I'm not trying to go back. But we got a lot of evidence now. A lot of evidence. Now we got to get to the postseason and all that good stuff, right? But there was a lot of people pounding the table, 10 toes down, about that coordinator leaving. Saying he was going to go there and everything was going to be hunky-dory for him. I mean, I thought their offense would be better, but it's 3 games in a row that offense ain't been doing great. But I agree with you, B-Bird. Like, this coordinator knows how to call a game. And I don't care how good you are. And this is the problem with tunnel vision. I don't care how elite you are as a quarterback, how great your arm is. If you don't got two things around you, you will not consistently deliver. A, coaching, whether that be scheme, whether that be a dude knows what he's doing, been around the block, whatever. You need that. And players. Not one or the other. I personally don't believe that you'll be able to win the ultimate thing with one or the other. I do think you need both. And if you don't have one, particularly the players, you got to be like Pat. And it ain't a bunch of Pats. And I'm talking about Patrick Mahomes, not the New England Patriots. Because they had players. But see, we don't really think about that. We don't say, oh, this quarterback had Jason Garrett and Scott Linehan and Kellen Moore for 7 seasons. Alex Smith had a bunch of nothing for 7, 8, 9, 10 seasons, goes to Andy Reid, and boom, Pro Bowl player. Josh Allen, it took Brian Daboll and was it Kafka or whoever it was. Boom. Now look at Josh. Nobody questions. Pat walked into a wonderful situation, but I wonder how he'd be if he walked into Jason Garrett. You know? You absolutely need everything around you. He needs everything. You think? What quarterback is winning Super Bowls without things around them? I mean, that just really, it drives me crazy. Because when you put on the film, when you watch the player, that quarterback, your quarterback, has always been like that. Now, he is in a different mode. He is in a different era because he's at that 30. And me and Vosh talk about this a lot. When you hit 30 and you are that tier 1 or tier 2 quarterback, once you hit that, you've seen 100 starts. You've seen everything. He's not going to get better with arm strength. He's not going to be able to throw the ball 100 yards down the field. That doesn't matter. He can dice you up with what he has easily. Now he just needs somebody to complement him that's not on the field. And Mike is doing that. Now, do y'all want to talk about... We can go today. I ain't talked to y'all Friday. We can go. Do y'all want to talk about a couple of those decisions? I'll ask y'all if y'all want to talk about a couple of those decisions. Because that's the last hurdle for our guy, Big Mike. That's our last hurdle. I'll get one more call, and then we'll see what's up. James, what's good, man?
Hey, what's good with you, Scott?
I'm good, brother. How are you this morning?
Yeah, me too, man. But I'll tell you what, I think today I have a couple of points and a question. But my first one is, I'll tell you, man, this Dak I really do like, and I'll tell you why. I like him because when we went down 8, I bet you a lot of us thought, oh, what a game is over. I'm not going to lie. I was starting to be like, oh, no, here we go again. And what did Dak do? Proved me wrong and said, shut up, man. I got you. And came back. I believe at one point we were down 8 points. I believe we were down 8 points at one point.
We were down 8
and
points.
And he came back,
twice,
brought us back.
like.
Yeah, and see, that's the Dak now that you get. Dak stays confident even when he's losing. He still puts the bullets in the gun and still keeps on going.
But I seen him do that. That's what. And I'm not coming at you. This is me being passionate. I'm not talking about you, James, because there's that show that everybody's retweeting about him being down. We've seen this.
Right.
What? I just think we're forgetting because the Cowboys have blown out 7 opponents. We've seen him say, all right, I gotta lock in and bring the Cowboys back in the game before. Plenty of times. Right? To the point where the defense gave it up plenty of times. You know what I mean? The difference is your defense, no matter how crazy it looked, complemented your offense when it mattered most. Both of your offense and your defense made clutch plays when it mattered most. But it didn't shock me. It didn't. When 8 points, nothing. I didn't worry. Even if it was 15, bro, nothing. We're gonna go down here. We're gonna make this a game. Now, can you get a stop so you can put the ball back in Dak's hand? Especially in that game, they wasn't stopping us. You know what I mean? So I've got the ultimate confidence that he can go down there and get you back in the game or get you a lead. I've always had that confidence. Now, what made me lack maybe a little bit less confidence than now, it wasn't him. If you get what I'm saying. It wasn't him. It was the guy that if you go look at game-winning drives and you go look at fourth quarter comebacks, when he became the coordinator, how many of those were there? And if you don't believe me that plays a big difference, go look at what's happening in the Chargers and go tell me how many game-winning drives that guy had.
Right.
How many do he got? The guy that everybody says is better than Dak. How many do he got? And how many did he have prior to that coordinator? I rest my case. Yeah.
But anyway, so and moving on and see, and this is the other thing I noticed, and I specifically brought this up because I know you are a kind of person you're like me, and I believe Ach is the same way, is stats tells a big tale because since the 49er game, since Dak woke up and has been playing out of his mind, and people don't want to consider him in the MVP conversation, he's in that conversation.
Oh, 100%.
He's 148 for 210. 1,874 passing yards, 18 tutties to 2 interceptions, and has a passer rating off the chart of 122.6. Brother, that's elite. Those are elite numbers. I mean, you can't say they're not.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? That is awesome. I'm not saying you're saying that, but to the haters and whatever, and to fans that want to be dishwater fans, that's great, man.
Man, you could just say this flat out. But I'm gonna just be 100 here, and this is with Brock Purdy because his numbers in certain areas are statistically.
Yeah, he belongs in there too because he's been playing low key, been playing very well too. So for sure.
But I'm going to say this, and you can say it's biased or whatever. Dak Prescott in 2023 is the best quarterback in the National Football League. That's all you need to really say.
I won't argue that.
Like that's all that really needs to be. The numbers, all that stuff backs it up, right? But when you really hunker down and you say who is playing the quarterback position consistently better than this player, right? No one.
Right.
No one.
Exactly. Nobody.
No one. And this is not a knock on Brock. Like Brock is playing some good ball, right? But you give Dak Prescott, I hate to do this, man, but you give Dak Prescott, Kyle Shanahan, that collective group, come on.
Right.
I mean.
It'd be over. So, so I can get off of here and let you do whatever else you got to do, man. Here's kind of like a question I kind of have for you. Now, if let's say for a week you're Dan Quinn, okay? Let's just say that you're Dan Quinn for the week. Okay, what would you do to try to neglect or to slow down? And you probably know where I'm going with this, but the defensive encroachments and the stupid offsides that Dante Fowler has at least one a game every week, if not two, what would you do about that?
And that's a good segue.
That's a tough one. And it seems like it's every week. If there was an encroachment stat or a defensive offside, lineup offside stat, we'd be number one in the league with that. It's like every week.
There is a stat. I mean, I don't have it, but I'm pretty sure Professor O, somebody can find the amount of offsides.
And I'm pretty sure we're leading that too. I wouldn't be surprised.
Not at all.
It's got. I think I believe it's mental.
I'd be surprised.
We got to mentally fix that.
I'd be surprised if we weren't leading it. We had 4 of them on one possession.
That's crazy, man.
The only thing, and this is kind of an old school approach, and I'm pretty sure they won't do this, but I just come from the time where you get benched.
Exactly.
I don't really know what else to do besides sit your ass down.
And it's not like we don't have the depth on the D line to do that, but it's just, as I think on one of those when Dante Fowler was offside, I believe it was a 3rd and 5. They didn't get it. It was 4th and 5, and he was offside, and they got the first down, I do believe. But yeah, that stuff right there has got to stop, man. Because when you're playing them good teams, oh, and by the way, the Deron Bland situation, I don't know if that, no disrespect to that gentleman that you were talking to, I understand what he's talking about, but he's got to remember, look at Trey Diggs. His second season, he had growing pains. And he's still listed in the league, Deron Bland, barely, but he's still listed in the league as the best corner in the league. And Derek Metcalf, the first half of that game was not going to be. Reminds me a lot of Megatron. He's just a... So that's pretty much what I got, man.
I kind of froze up here on my end. Yep, I am froze. 1 second, Cowboys. Y'all can hear me, right? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You can hear me, James?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, something froze up on my end. Oh, 1 second. I ain't done.
Maybe my last point did. I'm sorry.
No,
all right, man. Hey, but I'm gonna go anyway, though. Sky, we'll holler at you sometime later in the week, man.
Appreciate you.
All right, man.
Let me try to figure this out, y'all. Do I got a lot of things just going off right now? I sure do. So something triggered on my end, and it's playing all these videos I have on this scene. So I'm not going back to this scene just yet. Give me a second. Make sure. Yep. Boom. All these things are muted. Yeah, something just flickered here. Apologies, y'all. Just hold tight with me for 1 second, and we'll take a quick break because I do want to. We got more callers. I do want to talk about some of the things that we need to clean up. Oh yeah, they playing everything. Jeez. All right, look. I don't want to end this show. Let me know. Do y'all hear anything? Anything crazy? I mean, y'all can hear me, but do y'all hear any type of audio being played behind that? Let me see something real quick. Hold up. See, they just get me a studio. Yeah, all that shit. Man. Hello? Check. Okay, cool. We good. We good on this end. All right, bet. All right, give me 1 second, y'all. Let me collect myself, and we'll come back and figure this out.
You're listening to A to Z Sports.
Do it live!
At some point, hoping to broadcast
in front of the millions
of Cowboys fans to bring you the real. But for now, strap up and here's your host, Skywalker Steele.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you.
We'll do it live.
All right, I think we're good. I do not know what happened. It just flickered and everything just started lighting up over here, like when you got a janky car. Your whole dashboard started lighting up. Everything started lighting up. All right, appreciate y'all for still rocking. We still got about 900 here. We cool. Yeah, we going long today. Rolo says sweet, another 90 minutes. I don't know about another 90, but we going long today. And then after that, we going to watch some film. And then later on, I'll be on Vacha's show. All right. We've been talking about all the great things from that game, right? A whole lot of great things that came out of that game. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about some of the things that are cause for concern that we got to be better. And James brought up the penalties. Cowboys have 14 penalties called on them. I believe only 9 accepted. So, 5 of the penalties that didn't go their way. I'm probably at the point where cleaning up the penalties, it is what it is, unfortunately, man. Dallas, I don't know why they cannot get out of their own way when it comes to these penalties. I don't know. But the penalties are crazy. But beyond the penalties, there was really 4 moments in that game, but I want to stick to the 3. The 3 moments in that game that I think are at least worth talking about, discussing. At the time, the emotions I had about those were very high. And it was Mike McCarthy decisions. I was going to do a good, bad, and ugly type of show today, and in the bad, or at least bad question mark, were the decision making. So let's start with Cowboys down 20-28. They go down, they score, and make it 26-28, and they decide to kick the field goal. Were you for or against that decision at the moment? Because I think the rest of these decisions are based off of what happened previously. So at the moment, were you for or against the Cowboys kicking the field goal? At the moment, for me, I was calling them to go for 2. And the reason why I was thinking that way was because it felt like Seattle was going to get back in field goal position anyway, right? So if you hold them, you get them down in field goal position, you just hold them to a field goal attempt, they kick the field goal, it's a 4-point game. If you yourself go for 1 and get it, so you need a touchdown anyway. If you don't get it, it's a 5-point game. Regardless, you needed a touchdown. So for me, I'm like, hey, I'm going for 2. So were y'all for or against that? Still don't boy say he was against it. Willie T was for it. Against it. Okay, looks split. Little shocked. I thought we'd be leaning one way or the other. 1 second, I'm trying to find something. Can y'all hear that music in the background? Damn. There we go. Against it. For it. It was still the third quarter. All right, it's a mixed bag. I was all for going for the 2. Didn't do it, right? All right. Whatever. It's a 1-point game. I have full confidence that the Cowboys will get back down there. Next possession. Geno Smith throws an interception to Deron Bland. The Cowboys are in Seattle territory. The question, Mel, was were you for or against the Cowboys kicking a field goal instead of going for two-point conversion? So they don't go for 2. Dallas gets the pick. The score is 28-27. 3 plays go by. Dallas doesn't convert. It's 4th and 2. Now, before the play call, I'm setting this up. Were you for or against them going for it right there? Would you have rather them take the points, get the lead 30-28, or go for 2 and obviously try to go down and score? And the reason why I'm waiting to talk about the play call is because these things are not about results. This is about the process. The results are the results. The process. Did you want them to take the points to go up 30-28 or go for 2? Field goal worth 3 points. Extra points worth 1. Oh, I ain't get to that one just yet, Miss Jackie. Now, see, a lot of people are more on what I was thinking. I was looking to take the points. And here's why. Your defense is not having a good day. Deron finally makes a play. Everybody's hyped up. I feel like the lows or the loss side of this far outweighs the positives. For instance, had you got 4th and 2, don't guarantee that you're going to score the touchdown. Granted, you've been balling, but you also been getting down there and having to kick field goals. You're already in field goal range. Reward your defense by taking the lead, right? Maybe the defense goes back out there and they're like, let's go. We got the lead now. All we got to do is get the ball back into our offense's hands. Instead, they go for 2. And yes, I know. Hitting right in his hands, you should have called it. I personally don't like sprint right. It's one out. I don't like that, but it is what it is. He drops the ball. That's why I'm not bringing up the result. Because even if he gets it, you still got to go down there and score. Although I feel like with Brandon Aubrey, that's a guaranteed 3. You have the lead. Your defense is feeling, all right, we got the lead now. Let's go out here. So for me, because you didn't go for 2, I would have kicked the field goal to take the lead. Because you're down. At that point, you would have been up. Had you been tied, maybe a different story. I don't know. But you were down. You were losing. You kick the field goal, you take the lead. So for me, I would have took the lead. Field goal was short. I think it was like 38 yards. It wasn't a long field. Put it this way. It was well within Brandon Aubrey's range. Well within it. So for me, I had tweeted after this happened, damn, Mike's decision-making seems to be ass backwards. Like, you don't go for 2 to tie the game, and then you don't kick the field goal to take the lead in consecutive. I feel like that's just backwards to me. But that was just how I was feeling at the time. Okay, so that's number 2. Don't go for 2. You don't take the lead. They go down, they score, 8-point game again. Whole bunch of time passes by. The Cowboys eventually grab the lead. They're up 38-35, was it? What was it? Yes, 38-35, correct, y'all? Or no. 38-35. Yes, 38-35. Cowboys are up 38-35. We get back down into the red zone territory. 1 minute and 43 seconds or 1 minute and 52 seconds left on the clock. Dallas is just running the ball, getting down. You got end arounds or whatever, jet sweeps. Cowboys get down to the red zone. They get the 3rd and 2. After running the ball to get the 3rd and 2. They get the 3rd and 2. 1 minute and 40-something, 50-something seconds left. The Seahawks do not have a timeout. They throw it. Not only do they throw it, they run a sluggo. You for it against it. There seemed to be some on Twitter. There seemed to be people like, oh man, if Dak would have just did this and did that, they should have never threw that ball. I don't know how you can convince me, man. I don't know how you can convince me. Maybe somebody on the phone can convince me of that play call. That was stupid. I was dumbfounded as this was happening, especially because the Seahawks were marching down the field on you all game. You run the ball. Here's why you run the ball. Your running back was averaging over 3 yards per carry. You needed how many yards? 2. 1 or 2 things happen here. Win-win. You A, get the first down, which I had confidence they would have. Or you B, you run the clock all the way down to less than a minute. Or right around a minute. Or it's 4th and inches. Quarterback sneak, game over. But to throw a sluggo, and I know people are bringing up the all-22 version of this mesh route, cross route that eventually got Cooks loose. He was never going there. We got one-on-one with CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb's been killing it. We're going to run this sluggo because it's an aggressive corner. He hit his back foot. CeeDee put on the fake slant and he threw the ball up. So I don't think you throw the ball right there at all. I don't know how many people would agree with that one. Everybody was against that one. So I wanted to bring up those 3 because that might be the only thing that could potentially, not one of the only thing, but one of the things that could potentially derail you offensively is the decision making, the game management of juggling the play caller and the head coach duties. I don't know that was as smooth. I shouldn't say I don't know. It wasn't. And it all accumulated to that point, right? 3rd and 2. You throw an incomplete pass. They got a minute and 43 seconds left now. We just saw DK Metcalf go 76 yards in this game on a slant. So I didn't like it, man. Those are the three I wanted to bring up. Hopefully he learns from those, and we're a bit better in those situations. All right, let's get 951, and then we're going to end it with Jack. What's good, 951?
What's going on, Still?
What's up
this
with
is
you?
my first time calling in, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. I want to start off with the 2-point conversion. I think that's what you had said first.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't have. I think I would have just took the points. I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like, and even associating this with the field goal and going forward on 4th and 2, I feel like just our defense plays better with the lead for some reason. I don't know why that is. Michael
brother,
Parsons seems to fire off.
They had a 10-point lead in this game.
They did.
So that was really weird. Yeah, because I agree. Usually they do play better with the lead, but this game they didn't in particular.
This is true. And I feel like a lot of that has to do with before the second half. What happened before the second half? There was a lot of penalties. There was a lot of weird things going on. They had like 20 minutes.
The conference has been locked.
Not 20 minutes, 20 seconds. I'm sorry. They had about 20 seconds to go down there and score or something like that. It was a lot of penalties and a lot of things that went their way and some things that went our way as well.
Hey, that's another reason why I would have tried to close the game out, because how many times did this referee crew call these pass interferences that was giving them 30, 40, 50, whether it be them or us, right? There was maybe 3 or 4 of those pass interference calls that got 20-plus yards. I just would have never I would have never let them get the ball. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, that's understandable as well. Because Geno was firing off. They were going crazy. I get it. Keeping the ball away. Even on that Deron Bland pick. And, that led to the going to the try of 4th and 2 of trying to convert that.
Yeah.
Maybe that was like a mojo moment for Mike McCarthy. Maybe I know you said you didn't like the play, but it was more of a.
I didn't like the decision more than the play. I didn't like the decision, but I also am not sitting here saying I love the play either. I can't lie to you. I didn't love the play, no.
Right. Because seeing the way Tony Pollard has been running lately has been real aggressive, and I've been I like it. He does have his moments where he gets hit behind the line of scrimmage or whatever, but lately he's been real physical. He runs hard. Sure. We don't really see the shiftiness from him as much anymore. Like he wants to be that banging back. So, I think I would have took the 3. Would have got us a little lead, to show the defense, all right, you guys did something, and we got something from it.
Right. Reward your defense. That's kind of how I was looking at it, man. Don't let this go to waste, and give them the momentum. And what happened? They got the momentum. They got the stop. Their sidelines hype. Geno's like, all right, cool. I got that one mistake out of my body, out of my system, and next thing you know, bink, 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 touchdown, 8-point lead. Like it just.
Absolutely.
I don't think it was the right decision, but it fortunately didn't cost them.
Yeah, that's the good thing. They was able to pull it out. Dak Prescott did his thing. So, man, I've been hearing, and this is kind of before, I know you gave us the 3 little things to stay on, but the whole Dak Prescott MVP thing, man's playing out of his mind right now. He's playing out of his mind. I don't care really the competition level.
Yeah,
I feel like it's the NFL and. The Cardinals, we went to Arizona, which the Cardinals usually give us a problem anyways, but we went there and we laid an egg. So it doesn't really matter who you're up against any given Sunday.
Yep.
And you got to take every win you can possibly get, man.
I mean, the Packers just beat the Chiefs, right? The Bills or the Jets beat the Bills and the Eagles. The Cardinals beat the Cowboys. Like, you cannot go and then and think about this for the Cowboys' sake. You're going to get everybody's best shot. And we brought this up last week or at least on the pregame show, you got a team who's fighting for their playoff life, and you're the Cowboys. You know they're going to come out and throw everything at you. They're going to play at a different level probably than normal because of them fighting for their playoff lives. They just came off of a 3-game losing streak or 2-game losing streak. They need to have this one. You had to match that energy. And the Cowboys' defense really wasn't matching that energy, but the offense was, fortunately.
This is true. All right, Kai. That's pretty much it, man.
Yeah. Thanks for the
I don't
call,
know if you
brother.
remember me or not, though, but I had sent a little super chat. My name was Poochie, and you was like, I don't know. Either way, I don't know how to say it. So yeah.
My God, Poochie.
There you go. But
Salute.
yeah, man, appreciate the call.
Thank you, man. I remember you, dog. That's saying something. Yeah. And I don't think this is going to be the last one, obviously, right? Like Philly, they're coming off a loss. An ass whooping, right? We're going to match that energy. Now, they getting you at the crib. I've been saying this forever. It's a totally different team at the crib. Totally different. And I think Dallas is going to have an energy in this game that I think Philly is going to have to match. Because we're now, and I think we're favored, which is interesting. But we're now the have-to-have-it team. So we got to go out there and play with that desperate energy. We have to win this game if we want to win the division. It doesn't stop there. Buffalo playing for their playoff lives. You got to be ready. Miami's trying to clinch. And let's just be honest, man. With Mike McDaniel, it don't matter what it is. Mike McDaniels, they could be 4-10. Mike's trying to put up 70. You better be ready. Detroit, they're playing for seeding. Monday Night Football. You know they're going to throw their best at you. They just lost to you last year in a close game. Man, you're going to get everybody's best shot. And not just their best shot, but these teams are playing for something. All right. I said Jack, but I'm going to close out with Jack. Poindexter, he snuck up in here. What's good, Poindexter?
Hey, what's up, my brother? How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you, sir?
Hey, man, Bill Belichick, had that thing where you say just do your job. When he tells a team to just do their job, that's because they got 12. Now we got 4, and if everybody just do their job, 4 do the rest. And that's what I'm thinking. When you see Dak Prescott, man, how he's balling out of control, everybody just needs to pick up their game and do their job, and we will have a great team. Now, the decision making, I'm talking about, it's kind of like Bill Belichick say, do your job. Well, Bill Belichick did his job. So same thing with Mike McCarthy. If you want everybody else to do their job, you need to do your job too. And that pass on, man, take the 3. Come on, and then you go down and you can run the clock down, give them less than a minute, and you throw the ball. Come on, everybody got to do their job.
Yeah, those two to me, Poindexter, are the more egregious ones. You were going to have to chase points likely anyway. So whether you chased it, the 2-point conversion at that point, or you did it later, I'm not going to go crazy about the decision, right? Like the 2-point conversion to me ranks 3rd on the list of questionable decisions. It's the field goal attempt to me, and then obviously not running the ball on 3rd and 2. I mean, that's just egregious. You run the ball.
Oh, and man, Dak threw that ball, man, and CD let it go through his hands on the goal line. Man, that would have been like one of the greatest plays. Yeah, that would have been da-da-da. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I saw it the second time. Now the first time I'm like, okay, man, what is Dak doing? Then I saw it the second time. I was like, man, he put that bad boy in the keyhole.
Touchdown.
He put it where nobody could catch it but CD, and it went right through his hands. Then CD dropped the one on 4th down. Hey, man, look.
And
CD,
he dropped the deep one too, the pass interference. So I'll give him it. They threw the flag, but he put the ball in CD's hands 3 times. He could have had like a 170-yard day.
Well, CD need to go do that Michael Irvin, Jerry Rice mile, because they're going to run him during the game. Looks like he might have got a little winded there, man. But if they're going to you, you're going to have to be there. You're going to have, and like I say, 3 games in 12 days, and being targeted that many times.
Yep.
I could see how it could be tired. You know what I mean?
17
and
targets. You ain't catching all 17. So we ain't condemning CD, but I'm just saying those 3. He could have had 3 more catches.
Oh, but if he would have, you know what I mean, man, that would have been too awesome.
Come on, man.
But I like that they had a gritty game they had to play because they're going to have to go up against these Eagles. And I'm glad they didn't just, like, blow anybody out. So now we got a week to say it's things we have to work on. You know, you had your rest, you had your 3 days off. Now it's time to get down to business. You know what I mean? It's time to focus because the Eagles are not the team that got beat by the 49ers like that. They are not going to lay down for you at all.
No.
49ers beat them, but Eagles did not lay down for them. You hear what I'm saying? You're gonna have to do the same thing the 49ers did. You're gonna have to keep the pedal on them. You're gonna have to dominate. And you know, they got the team to do it, man. I'm very confident with this team, man. Like I say, in Dak we trust. And if everybody else do their job, defense step up. Defense, like I say, I think that
in closing,
that 3 games in 12 days, I think the team was a little tired, man.
Sure.
You can't expect them to be a little tired, But they gutted it out, man. They gutted it out. They got the win. Now they got their rest. They can refocus. Man, I'm looking forward to this weekend. I'm going to have my popcorn ready. I'm going to have my apple crown. Hey, man, I'm ready for this here. Hey, you have a blessed day, man. Look, keep doing what you're doing. I love your show, you and Jesse. Hey, man, breaking down games and stuff and everything, and the banter. I love that also. And, man, just keep doing what you're doing, man. Much love to you and your family, man. Stay safe, and God bless you, man.
Salute. You as well. Appreciate your point, Dex. I had a point here. I forget where I was going with it. Apologies. Let's get Jack on here to close this out. We'll hit the chat, get some super chats, and get moving. What's up, Jack?
Yeah.
What's good with you, man?
How you doing, bro?
I'm all right.
So I got 2 points.
Okay.
2. So I tried to tag you and Botch in it. It was a Twitter video. Now, remember last week we had that conversation, and I think we were talking about them, the Seahawks giving us their best shots because their playoff lives were on the line.
Yeah.
And remember when I was saying that I don't think it's just the star, and you were like, no, it's totally the star. So there was a video. Yeah, that's cool. That's what I'm here for. So the video was the hypocrisy of LaShawn McCoy, how they asked him if he would give Jalen Hurts a pass for his turnover. And he was like, yeah, give him a hall pass. I would give him all kind of passes. And I'm like, what? And he basically based it on them going to the Super Bowl last year. I don't want to hear none of that shit. Okay, we're talking about right now. Then he also goes to and says, you gotta give him a pass because every turnover is not created equal. So then they go to show the video of Dak and him throwing an interception and it bouncing off of what was 85?
Yeah, I know the video you're talking about. Basically, him being a hypocrite. So are you saying that the energy for Dak is not because of the star?
Not just because of the star. Now, the star is a major part of it. But it's not just. I remember I was like, now it's going beyond the sanity of the game. Now that it's just extra. Now they're going out of their way to do it.
But do you think it would be that way if he played for the Washington football people? If he played for the Jaguars? If he played for the Bills? If he played for the Giants? Like, how?
Okay.
I don't know how it's not the star.
No. It is the star, too. It's definitely the star. Because Tony Romo got it. Well, any other quarterback besides Tony Romo was, but.
I mean, I don't see any other quarterback that faces that type of criticism in the way he does that doesn't have the star on. That's the only reason why I say it's the star, almost solely the star.
Yeah, and it's got to be that because again, just like I said, Patrick Mahomes scored 9 points in the game. You didn't hear none of that. You didn't hear nothing about, is he not great? Is he aggressive? Yes,
and we ain't even got to go Pat. We ain't even got to go there because Pat earned that, right? Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, they earned that. There's quarterbacks out here that haven't, in my opinion. Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, Tua.
They don't get none of that smoke.
They don't get no smoke when they lose like that. They don't get none of that. Mm-hmm. And I think it's because of where they play. And this is not a slight to Dak Prescott. But if said player was in his position and didn't come through or had a bad game, I do feel like he would get all of that type of slander because of the particular team he plays with. That's kind of where I'm at with it, Jack. I do think the star holds all of, if not majority of that weight. So what's the other reason why? If it's not just the star, what else do you believe why he gets that type of criticism?
I think it's just because, like, I don't think they're used to see, like, Tony Romo, he wasn't as outspoken as that. He wasn't as composed as that. Because, I mean, you never really heard from Tony Romo. Tony Romo would just give you your normal quarterback. Dak has that swag to him, that ominous, that venom type swag. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, I take your whole head off. But just I digress, because you guys came for me the same way when you thought it was over for me, when you thought it was a wrap for me. You tried to get somebody to take my place. Well, now I'm at your door. You wanted to see us fight, we fought. That's what you asked for. Now, what do you want to do? And I'm here. And he ain't budging. He ain't moving. He ain't dodging no smoke. He want all the work. And I was telling one of my coworkers earlier today. I said, "Hey, bro," I said, "that was a good game. I needed y'all to beat them last night, but I want to see y'all, bro. I do." I said, he was like, "Man, y'all don't want to see us." I said, "Bro, we gotta get this monkey off our back. That's why I want to see y'all. And this Dak right here, I go with a wall with him. This Dak that's playing right now.
Oh yeah.
Well, I want to walk up to anybody that came and hit him in the mouth and say, 'What's up?' You know what I'm saying?" And my second thing was, I don't agree with Gilly and Bland traveling. I think that hurt us more than helped us. Because they're so used to being on their side and locking down their side, because we don't have the same deficiencies in the middle of the field that the Eagles have. You know what I'm saying? We have way more speed on our defense, our back seven, than the Eagles do. We have many more playmakers on our back seven than the Eagles do. So I believe if they'd have stayed on their side, because that's where they've had most of the success this season against wide receivers, no matter who the group was.
Yes.
And then we could have just funneled everything else in. So I think them following Bland following DK, Gilly following Lockett. You know what I'm saying? I think those hurt us more than helped us.
I don't think that was I don't think they followed anybody until the second half adjustment though, Jack. Like they usually play they usually play sides. And then what happened was DK was cooking. He was just cooking Deron Bland, man. And they had to make an adjustment. And I just wanted to make sure when they did start traveling, when Gilmore started traveling with DK Metcalf, 2 receptions, 16 yards on Stephon Gilmore. So I do think them traveling, that was the best thing for them. Because Bland didn't have an answer for DK. Where Gilly felt confident enough, or maybe it was DQ or Witt or whomever, right? One of the secondary guys felt confident enough to put him on there. So I will say this, I'm okay if they stay to their sides normally. But if this situation happens again where, hey, man, we don't have an answer, the fact that they've shown that they can travel, or at least Gilly can go travel with that guy, I think that's amazing. That's great to know I got that in my hip pocket now.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Hey, I also want to say, everybody don't be down on Deron Bland. Deron Bland has only given up 4 touchdowns this year. He's only given up 4 touchdowns this year over 13 weeks.
I mean,
he's entitled to one bad game.
I mean, shoot,
I'll give him.
I mean, 4 touchdowns. 4 touchdowns is not terrible, but you don't want to see that. But here's the thing: I think 3 of them came in one damn game. That's the yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I say he's entitled to one bad game,
which is crazy.
You know, he's been. That's what I'm saying.
Touchdowns in one game.
He's been
no, they only they credited him for 2 touchdowns in that game, Jack. So he only gave up 3 this year.
So he's only given up 3 touchdowns all year, and they've just had their first 100-yard receiver last week and the week before.
Sure.
I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like,
bro got 8 picks, man. He got 8 picks. So in 5 pick sixes, I will live with those results every day, twice on Sunday.
Every day. I'm with you on that. But as always, Sky, it's an honor and a pleasure. And if ain't nobody got you, Jack got you. Now I'm out, man. You have a blessed day, bro. See y'all sometime this evening.
Appreciate you, man. Oh yeah, we be on. It's Jack closing out the horns for us. Yeah, man. Don't worry about Bland, man. We be all right. Bland be all right. I do like that they were able to make that adjustment though. Me and Jesse, we had a nice conversation about that and thought it was an underrated adjustment. And not just the actual adjustment, but the details within it to allow them to succeed in doing so. You know, no egos involved. We understand this is going to be every game, right? These dudes are going to be traveling like that. But it worked out. It worked out for Dallas. But yeah, I ain't worried about DeRon, man. He be all right. Let's get to these super chats.
Super chat.
Manny dropped 5. Says 7 seconds left in the half. Why not grab wide receiver at the line? Not sure why this isn't taught. Ooh, Manny, this is yeah. Why not grab wide receivers at the line? Not sure why this isn't taught. The field goal is a given. Have them make a decision to kick field goal with a few seconds. This happened before, Manny. What team or teams? I've seen this done. Patriots, I think, did this years ago, and this is where Belichick just knows all the rules. I think there was like a few seconds left or something like that. I think it was a Patriots-Ravens game, and they just said nope and just grabbed all the receivers, right? And the clock runs out. Now you either got to kick the field goal or go for it and attempt to lose all the points. That's a good point. I think that's something I would have done at that point with 4. I think it was 7 seconds left or something like that. Grab the receivers, pass interference at the 1. It's already at the 1, but you only have 3 seconds now. So there is no second play. There's kick the field goal or you get 0 points. So yeah, I would have definitely did that. Those dudes technically scored 3 touchdowns on us in a row. You know, the touchdown called back by Smith and Jigba. Then I don't know who scored the other touchdown in the back of the end zone, but they called something. I don't know what they called back there. Offset penalty, something. And then DK Metcalf scored at the end. Yeah, good point. That's something I didn't even think about.
Super chat.
Glenn dropped 5. Appreciate the 5 from Manny. Appreciate the 5 from Glenn. He said, to fix the run game, Coach Mike needs to steal all of those 49er plays dialed up for CMC and allow TP to get off. Those pitch runs are money. I think the run game is fixed, though. Do we still think the run game is broke? I don't think the run game is broke. Maybe this is me because I told y'all weeks ago, I don't think we're a running team. So I don't really I don't need the run game to go for $150 every week or TP to have 100. Like for me to say the run game is doing what it's supposed to do. I just need efficient runs when I need efficiency. I would like to run when they know we're running and not throw it, but we threw it. And then can we run down there in the red zone? They've been hit and miss with the running in the red zone. They've scored 3 touchdowns in the red zone, rushing the last 3 weeks, but they also have missed some running down there. So I don't think it's broke, Glenn. I don't think it needs quote unquote fixed, but we can be better. I just don't want the attempt to be better is the numbers. And that's what I'm scared of McCarthy saying, well, we just got to get the numbers and we'll be fine in the run game. Nah. I'm cool with 12 to 15 carries from TP. Let's get those carries up, Rico, to 6 to 9, right? Sometimes maybe 10, depending on the game. We want to have those guys hit 25 plus when we're trying to run the clock out. But I don't need to run the ball that much more. Your offense is going to live through Dak and these wide receivers. So Still some of the 49er running plays, they have. That little toss, that crack toss, but it's more like a zone run. Usually back in the day, you'd hand that off and you stick your foot in the ground and go. Well, they're tossing it and they're giving TP the vision, letting guys get to where they need to get to. In the Panther game, it was Lipke, right? And so they're stealing a little bit. The pop motion stole from McDaniels. But yeah, them toss plays, those pitches are money, man. It's where we live. And if you go watch, right? You go watch that Eagles game. Kyle Shanahan was. I hope he watched this. And this is what I mean by watch this. And we'll break this down a little bit more, especially when I go back and watch the film. But just from the broadcast view, where was Kyle Shanahan running between the 20s? He was attacking the edges. They were attacking the edges. There was the jet sweep stuff. There was getting CMC on the outside. The first 2 possessions, they weren't doing nothing. They couldn't do anything, right? After that, though, everything was on the edge. Toss over here, crack toss, all crazy motion. Here you go, Debo. Edge. You know why? Because you got Big Baby, or I keep calling him Big Baby because Big Baby Davis. Jordan Davis and I don't know Fletcher. I can't remember if he played in that game. I know he was hurt. The Jalen Carters of the world. It's tough to run in between the tackles against them. They've proven that all year. You want to get on the edges, man. They ain't got the linebackers to run. Sweat and Reddick, they want to get to the Q. They don't got a D-Law. Shanahan knew that. So I'm hoping that we actually look at that and we get that rock outside. We were deliberate against Washington. Here you go, TP. Get in space. We were deliberate against Seattle. Here you go, TP. Touchdown. Get in space. Certain player on one of these, former player on one of these networks tried to condemn the Dallas Cowboys for scoring a touchdown in the red zone from toss. I don't care how you score a rushing touchdown in the red zone. Just score it. Don't be stubborn to prove to other people or prove to us, hey, look, we can run down the middle of the defense. If you can't, if that's the team's strength and that's not yours, why would you run into a brick wall? What did we do when we tried to run down the middle against Seattle? And that's not even a stout defensive line. It didn't work because I as much as I love Tyler Smith, I don't think outside of that, no disrespect to Zach and Tyler B, I don't think these guys are the push you off the ball guys anymore. I don't think Zach is going to just push you off the ball. Let Zach get a reach. Let Zach flow one way into the zone. Let Zach pull and get out in space. Let Zach seal. Tyler's Tyler. Tyler ain't pushing nobody off the rock for real. But he get out in space when he can get a chance to get out there. He's doing some things. Tyler Smith can maul you, but he's just one person. I just don't think at this current moment we've got push you off the line of scrimmage dudes from left to right. Even Tyron, who's playing amazing. Tyron's not push you off the ball 2014 Tyron. Tyron just, I'm a grown man. I know how to seal. I know how to angle. I know how to chop you if we're doing that type of thing. I know how to get to the second level. And if I get out in space, you're scared of me. But just flat out pushing dudes off the ball, we get to the 4 or 5 yard line. I don't like them turning around and handing it to Tony. If you're going to do that, then put the 240-pound fullback and say, just run your guy over to the end zone. You know what I mean? So, in my opinion, Glenn, I wouldn't necessarily, and I'm fixated on the word fix. I don't think it's broken. I do think we need to tweak it, and I think they have tweaked it since Blasco has come back, and we've had some success. Tony has a rush touchdown 3 weeks in a row. We've seen him rip off every week. He's ripping off a big run. He's running really hard. It's just getting down into that red zone and being consistent running down there, you know? Dang. This dude says CMC's overrated. Come on, man. If Christian McCaffrey's overrated, who's good in this league then? That's that we were talking about barbershop talk last week. This how they talking barbershop. Man, Christian McCaffrey ain't. And you just sit back like, all right, go ahead. I can't. What do you want me to say here? Dude's a problem. It's a beast, man. What you say, Willie T? Tony's not a power runner. No, he's not, man. This whole running Tony up the middle at the goal line is wild to me. Look, you can run Tony up the middle after you set things up. I'm not saying you don't ever not do it. Like, you got to be able to do that. But you don't do that deliberately on the goal line. All right, I think we good. I was A-OK going. We went double overtime today. I ain't talked to you in a while. Oh, shouts out to LB. Not that guy. Our LB, Laurel Blizzard. Where the button at?
Super chat.
He dropped 2 on the way out. Said, great show, Sky. Cowboys are back. Let's go. The fun don't stop, Cowboys Nation. Mo will be back on later tonight. A to Z primetime show. He's been doing such a great job, man. Proud of my guy. And then 3:15-ish. Used to be 3:06. I'll be back live riding shotgun with my brother from one of the GOATs in this thing. Voch Lombardi live. We'll be having a good time with this one. Now, I'm not sure where we're going to go with it because he did his day after show. It's a win, though. You know, we can linger it out a couple days. And then eventually we'll turn the page to Philly. Tomorrow, though, we're not turning the page just quite yet. Sticking to what we usually do. Tape Tuesdays. There were some cool things in that game, and really some of the things that we've always done that I want to take a look at. Yeah, I know I always do the drive of the game, but I might add a couple other plays in there. And then Wednesday we turn the page, we wrap to Okoye, and we'll start thinking about this Eagles game and figuring out where the best attack. I do think, granted, it's only been like a month. I do think there are going to be some differences from the last time the Cowboys played them. Could be personnel too. You know, we'll see what happens with Dallas Goedert. It's a huge loss if he doesn't come back next week. If he does, that's something we have to deal with. But we'll dive into all that this week. Going to be a great week, man. Film, and then we break down Eagles week, both offense and defense, and we'll highlight our guy Patrick Nosey Walker later. So y'all lock in, man. Lock in. If you're new to this, please subscribe to what we do here. Not just here, but in this community, but specifically, yes, here. Subscribe to what we do. Become a part of the Bomb Squad.
Bomb Squad!
And enjoy this ride with us, man. Because win, lose, or draw, we here for it all.
Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button.
I like that too, Tom. Look, it's early. It's Monday. I ain't really trying to go too far into it. But just like I felt the Niners going to run it up on them at the crib, the way Dak playing. Any word on Shaq? Not that I'm aware of. But if something drops, we'll talk about it on the Voch Show. Out of here. Love y'all. Peace.
Bomb Squad!